probably I'll randomize the emblems too. So yeah, that works. Don't talk about my hair today. All right, it's just gonna be like this. Okay, it's drying. it's drying. Okay, it's just what it does. It's drying. It's wet. Okay, I had to leave it like this. It's nice. Thank you. Did I get it this week? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. Let me. Oh, I gotta do her quest, don't I? Okay. So we gotta do this event. It takes like 20 minutes. I gotta do Nicole's room, which shouldn't take that long either. And then, goodness gracious, give me a second. Is it still fucking wet back there? What the fuck is that? Oh my god.
What am I now, you ask? Just a human who's lost her voice.
I'm trying to like get it to where I can put on my headphones without it ruining my hair. Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay, what? You should totally throw this in there. Bonded Legacy. Bonded Legacy.
Metaphors speak for themselves.
What is this mod? This is a mod that aims to make bond rings better. Okay. I guess I could add this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, I think that's good. It's good enough for now. To be honest, I kind of fucking rushed through it, honestly. I could have did a lot better, but it was late, so whatever. Are you gonna actually try to not use Chloe for once? It's gonna happen. She's my favorite unit. It's just gonna happen. Hey, Arnold. Hi, Jakey. Oh my fucking god. Where did she go? Oh my god. I'm gonna use her. I mean, like... Who else? Tamara. I mean, there's just some staples. Like, Tamara, Alir, Fram... Tamara, Alir, Tamara, Alir... Fram, Chloe. Who else? I'll probably be using... Well, it depends on when I get them. Fogato. Definitely want to use Fogato. Bune. Pendrell, maybe. I'm not sure yet. What is this? Paintballs? Okay. Okay. Right, okay. So, am I just painting the thought? I'm just doing... It's the paint game, right? We're just painting? Lapis? I'd be down for Lapis, yeah. I won't miss this chance. A citrine. Yeah, that's why I'm not thinking of citrine. What is with my hair today? Oh my god. Ugh, whatever.
Huh?
What do we do? Are we just... What do you want me to do? Oh, okay.
On me.
I didn't exactly finish the book, but can I hear your thoughts on chapter 5? I feel better about it now than what I used to. I kind of wish... I'm more than looking forward to moving on to what comes next. I was a little bit, it was a little bit unfortunate that the chapter kind of had to just end without a certain somebody getting a chance to be actionable in the things that they said they were going to do. Which was really fucking annoying because that would have been excellent for his characterization. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, what in the world is this? I thought it was really fun. The gameplay was really good. But all I really care about, I guess now is, getting to the end game. I like Flowery. Flowery was good. And there is a bit of meta commentary going on with him that I really appreciate. Okay, can I just say, like, if you haven't played Deltarune and you don't want to hear spoilers, can you just, like, pause real quick? Like, or mute for, like, a second? I'll give you, like, 10 seconds. Oh, you like my hair? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What was I gonna say? Okay. So, Asgore's been a pissy shit, right? Tutorial, right? He pretty much, he kind of used Chris to get closer to Toriel, which put Chris in an uncomfortable position. He's just kind of been a fucking mess since the start, right? It wasn't that the divorce happened. It wasn't that, like, everyone was treating him weird. None of those things influenced him to move away from his obsession with finding the truth about the Dark Worlds, right? And clearing his name. Which, you know, it kind of made him have this, like, unrealistic belief that, like, him doing so is just gonna fix everything, right? So maybe he was aware that, like, his marriage was falling apart and his kids became estranged because of it, but he did it anyway. And so he realized at the end of the chapter, once Chris was actually hurt, that, oh my god, my actions really did have consequences. And then he started to realize what the hell was going on, and he kind of woke the fuck up, which is nice. Usually when you have characters that have deep-seated, like, bullshit like that, because this has been going on for, like, over a decade, it seems, you know, they just don't switch on a dime, right? But it's unfortunate because he just kind of gets fucking kidnapped, and I never get to see, like, the fruits of that, right? And I feel like by the time all of this is said and done, is he going to be able to act on it? I don't know, but I guess it was really nice to see that even though he had everything he needed in the Dark World, it wasn't enough, right? So even if he did have the love or whatever he required, he still needed to clear his name more than anything else, which was fascinating. The flowers being personifications of that love, unconditional love that he may have, like, really desired, but didn't pay attention to, or kind of just neglected for the sake of his obsession, was I don't know. It was a nice little thing to see, and it also, like, paints a more clear picture to me that he's kind of very much so like Spamton, in the way that, like, you have this person who may have been on top or had everything they wanted, but then some really terrible thing happened that may or may not have been his fault, but you kind of fall from grace, and, like, you're kind of like a shadow of yourself. And I can really see the parallels between him and Spamton. It's kind of funny, actually. The gameplay was nice. The boss fights were nice. I thought it was fairly easy. I thought it was fairly quick. I feel like it did barely anything to accelerate the narrative forward, except I feel more confident that Rudy is probably the knight. And anything else? Chris, Susie, let me think. Push the Roma balls into the, okay. I don't like this event, by the way. This is so finicky. Will you get it? Okay, like, oh my god, get in the thing. Like, I think it's fine because I don't even know if we would have had room for Asgore to reconcile with his kids and with Toriel, but I'm really happy that he's like he's gonna start respecting her boundaries, which is really nice. So good for him in character growth. Somewhat sad about Flowery. I also thought it was interesting that the flowers seeds that he got were buttercups. And apparently buttercups are actually toxic to not just like animals, but humans too. You shouldn't be eating those. Which is why there were warning labels on the seeds. So that was a nice little callback. Well, I mean, like, he is a deadbeat, and I agree, right? Part of me also wonders, though, like, Toriel's whole thing in Undertale was that she, as a queen, decided to escape to the underground and kind of just sit there while Asgore enacted his plan, even though she thoroughly did not believe in it and knew what the implications of it were for her people. She kind of just like sat there and kind of let it happen. So her whole thing was like inaction and avoidance. And in Deltarune, I feel like that's reflecting in how she is drinking at home and locking Chris out and all this bullshit. Like, avoidance seems to be her thing yet again. Both of their parents definitely need some work, I will say. So that's fascinating. I do like the flowers a lot. I do wonder why they were humans, though. Maybe it's just because of maybe it's just because of the flowers from, or the humans from Undertale. The secret boss was really, really cool. I really, really liked her. That was really neat. Also, hi, crew. I need them. I don't know how. I don't know. I feel better about it now than when I first ended it, but like, damn. I don't know what. No, okay, seriously. Why was it Japanese? Why was it Japanese? I still don't get why it was Japanese. I think the only reason, no. I do have an idea. I think the reason why it was Japanese, and maybe I didn't like think about this at first, but apparently like Asgore and Alphys have been hanging out and they both like anime or something, which is why Mew Mew was in his truck or something. And so maybe that's why, like, it was Japanese. I have no idea, but like, I guess that could have been it. Like, I don't know. It's okay. Like, I just didn't expect it to be Japanese. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, this is such a fucking bad event. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yes, thank you, okay. What a day, young boy next door passed away. A lot of people who like fun more than anything else really enjoy Chapter 5. how do I say this? I wanted it to be a little longer, I think. I wanted it to be a little longer. I wanted it to be a little longer. Like, I think it was fun, but I kind of wanted more battles, more fights, harder fights, and I wanted it to be longer. Like, it was fun, it just didn't really last very long. You know, like so not only did we didn't get a lot of narrative progression, it feels like. We did, but it wasn't a lot. It also wasn't very long. So it was like I don't know. Which is fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's just I just want more. I need more. It makes me kind of want to go back and play the other chapters. Like a lot, actually. It makes me really want to go back and play 2, 3, and 4. Is that weird? What the fuck? What? What is this? Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. What? Oh my god, y'all, I'm sorry. Completed the challenge. Do I have to do this again? Oh my god.
Even when the night is gone, and even when the sky is hit.
Girl, what? Oh, okay. Oh, you just gotta complete the stages. Oh. At least you get a lot of primos for this one. Two pulls for Sandrone. Well, good luck, everybody else. What the fuck? Where are they? What? Where the fuck are they? Oh my... right, my turn. I need Vesta now. Like, I like, it's killing me. Like, hurry the fuck up. Oh my god! Chop, chop, let's go. Oh my goodness. Please. Oh my god, like, please, we gotta hurry up. What? Oh, bro, did I steal your things? Oh my god. Oops. I'll be taking that. Yoink. Okay, I think we're done. Alright, well that didn't take very long. Thank God. The Vivid Color Gulp Season. Oh, we only get it sooner than later? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. That's actually really good news. I'm so sick of this night. I'm so sick of this night situation. Can we please out Rudy? Like, can we just please get Rudy out of here? Like, everyone knows it's him, duh. It's Des. Why? What do you want? All right, goodbye, Bennett. Well, Rudy is sick. Rudy has a perfect alibi for never being around. I'm sick! Yeah, okay. I'm sure you are. Clarice, did you see that I, got dire? Oh my god. I'm sick. Let me see the medical records then. Let me see those medical records. What's going on? Do you need these plans? Hell no. Well, yes, because I use it for my parametric transformer. Damn, that's a lot. You tell me Rudy has plans for Asgore. I think, like, the way that we have our weapons that turn into little small things in our pocket, I think that the knight does the same thing, but for people, and compartmentalizes them, like how we compartmentalize weapons and stuff, which enables them to actually take people and place them into whatever's going on inside the... Is there a fucking dark world in the shelter? Oh, I think there is, actually. Wow. Damn, I have a lot of these. Okay, well then I guess I'm chilling.
If you ever
Anything else? Dailies? I have like 5% more exploration to do, but I guess I can do that off screen because I'm just gonna skip everything else anyway. Imagineering Theater, I have 2 days. Okay. I have 2 days, huh? Interesting. You know what? You know what? Speaking of today, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Aniba. As we all know, Aniba is a safe and reliable top-up site that we use to top up in our favorite games or get cheap games. What we got? Mafia, Peak, Resident Evil, and more top-tier games under 5. Is that a euro? Euro. Let's see. Peak.
Not the best idea I have ever had.
Right, getting Peak without getting it on sale for $3.50. Terraria Global for $2. Tabletop Simulator for $3.37. Dark Souls for $5. Oh my god. Tomb Raider, of course, for 30 cents. Oh my god, 99% off. Wow, that's very inexpensive actually. Lots of games here actually. It Takes Two, $9. Content warning, $9. I downloaded that game because I thought I was gonna play it with friends and I never did. I'm good. What the hell is this? Is that where it's from? Okay, anyway. And then you can top up in your favorite HOYO gacha games. They got Woo Wah. They got Zenless, Honkai Star Rail. They got Lattices and Marble Rivals. I know you want to see some of those summer skins they got with, you know, the men with the hairy arms and lack of hair on their legs. I know you want that. So, Aniba is the place to get it. You cash back. And they work with official distributors and verified sellers. You can also get gift cards too.
What am I now, you ask?
I'm an Aniba subscriber. That's what I am. So make sure you go ahead and check out Aniba. It is accessible through my link, !Aniba, or go and check under my stream. You should find it there. Thank you to Aniba for sponsoring this portion of the stream. Woo-wah! Woo-wah! PUBG! Yelan! What's top up for a Sandrone banner? Let's see. Those 90 pulls this patch better be working hard because can't we were getting? Are we actually getting 90 pulls? It's not 90 pulls, right? What is it? It's 85. Okay, that is very good. Well, I hope you guys have fun. And I hope the Sino and the Rio people don't get baited. Oh my god. Please, I really hope they don't get baited. Can you imagine they just pull Sandrone for whatever upskill for a stupid ass patch and then they immediately get a new, like, actual, like, teammate next patch? Oh my god. Please, I hope they wait. I really hope they wait. Oh my god. Oh, I should probably grab these, huh? Okay, who needs to be leveled? I'm working on Pearl, I'm working on, what are we doing? Valorate and Sone being dual DPS with Sarita as EQ bot and Denisa is boring Emily. Oh god, I can't wait to not pull her. Oh, I need to probably crown this. Yeah, I can make 7. I have yeah, okay. Right up! Am I attempting to Sandrone? Absolutely not. I can't. No Yai. No Yai C1. No, I had to farm a new set. Like, it's not happening. I'm gonna be really I'm gonna be much more excited to do it on rerun, but right now it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever for me to do it. Resistance or freedom? Resistance or freedom? Flea or prune? Flea or prune? Do you build damage on prune? Let me take a look. Does prune do damage?
Prune is the next animal character.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, does she do damage? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like with Nicole on the team. Oh my god, content creators, please, please, content creators, content creators. Is this creator experience server? This isn't creator experience server, is it? Is it? Oh my god, it's not. So why are we not doing testing dummy? Oh, okay. Okay, whatever, that works. Tipless space, it feels way too curated and it's hampering my experience. What do you mean? What does that mean? It's a freedom! Or should I actually, wait. Oh, that's gonna be crowned. Oh my god. Oh yeah, girl. Oh my god. Oops. Where the hell is the artifact domain? Oh, it's in the water, right? Or the talent domain. It's in the water, right? Am I stupid? No. Yes, I am. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm being put on a path to do simple things. I'm being worded way too easily. What would you have rather had instead? I think it's fine. I don't, like, it's not too annoying. That's okay. I can see what you mean, though. Lohan, can you imagine? You might be getting teammates soon. Oh my god. Why do you what?
Why do I insist on using a polearm? I'll put it this way. The tastiest bait on the battlefield is the one who looks the most like a commander. I can draw the enemy's attention while giving everyone else the space to fire at will. As for dangerous enemies, the more intense it gets, the easier I find it to concentrate. The feeling of pure focus really is to die for. Just a pity that ever since I left Nodcry, there have been too few battles where I can truly lose myself in the moment.
Damn. Because it's like the offset you're doing From the offset, you're doing the world quest here, and it feels like, hey, do this right now and get a bulk of the exploration done. It doesn't really feel like it wants me to fall, and it doesn't really make me want to follow along. I did notice that you did get like a bunch of like, well, okay, they kind of throw you in spaces and they're like, hey, can you complete this, please? Thank you. Maybe you kind of move on to the next location. Okay.
Now's our chance.
Oh my god, right here. I have 2 more. Okay, I will spend the other one on Clee's domain, and then get those freedom books done. And then also I will condense my resin, and then we need to go do simulated universe, and then need to go do Hollow Zero, and then we should be good to go. I could do some of the Zenless events. I could finish the rest of this exploration. I could die. I could do a million other things. It's kind of up in the air right now. I could eat. Eating sounds good too. Can my hair dry?
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Welcome. How can I help you?
You know what? That actually does not look bad, does it?
Ancient alchemy.
Surprisingly. Why does it not look bad? That's so weird. Why doesn't it look like...
Welcome. How
It
can I
doesn't
help
look
you?
bad. That's so strange. It's because of this, I think. The lady eating the fake salad. Oh my god. This is very long hair, by the way. Like, how long is this?
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Oh god. Oh god! Ah!
Has the most prosperous commercial port in all of Tibet.
I guess.
Damn, bitch.
The commission that
Oh,
the
what the
Adventurers
fuck?
Truly is
You do the stream when Mew was sleeping? Oh yeah, long hair. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna not do this, actually. I can't do it. Fuck. It's gonna cause fairy knots and I'm gonna want to die. Can you believe Pride Month is done tomorrow? Oh my god. Did you guys do anything gay this month?
The Adventurers Guild has the most prosperous commercial port in all of
ancient
Tibet.
alchemy truly
Gas prices went down. And I think we can blame the gays for that, so that's nice. Time for Wrath Month. Oh yeah, true. Couldn't kiss any guys. Oh. Okay. Does anyone here want to kiss Udon?
ancient alchemy.
I tried, sorry. My bad. Does Mona do anything? Can I be honest? Does Mona do anything? I mean, I know she does, but like, does Mona do anything? Like, I know obviously she does, but like, when I can't see her buff. Like, it says like normal 4 times and it works. Does it actually? Because I don't see it. Like, it's very unnoticeable. I don't know when it runs out. I can't tell. Like, I know it's working, but something about every time I use her, I'm like, is it on? I don't know if is it working? I can't see it. Okay, animal infusion, okay, that was awful, Layla. What are we doing? Layla? Like, what is going on, girl? Oh my god. Oh, I need to go do an artifact run too. I forgot about that. Yeah. Last thing I need to do is where's she at? This opens up on Wednesdays, so I should be doing it now. Versus Cleese, that opens up on Mondays. Okay, so I can do this tomorrow. So that means I need to do Lynette's right now. Unless, am I happy with where she's at? Come play Overwatch with me and Poppy. Well, I still have events to do, but I would love to. That sounds like a fun time. Excuse me. Ooh, oh my god. Thank you. Oh. No, I can't let stream see the scat I just unleashed upon the world. Oh my god. What happened? I went 11-11 on DPS. Wow. See what he's become, y'all. Oh my god. Blah, blah, blah. You good?
No still ending for sure. I think not. Our little secret.
Bet you weren't ready for this. Now's our chance. Bet you weren't ready for this.
Yeah, bro. All right, I am good with that. All right, last thing I'm gonna do is Llama? What? What are you doing, girl?
My contraptions are calibrated. We may now depart.
Ooh, excuse me.
Take me up!
think you could go from here?
Let's fly. Take me up.
Bro, where the fuck is it? Oh my fucking god. Where did it go? Our support's name is Gagery. What do you think they'll play? Yeah, probably Mercy or maybe Moira. What the fuck? Where did it go? I just saw it!
Let's fly.
Okay, what the fuck was that? Oh my god. Where do I go from here? I think we go to Inazuma from here. Yeah, okay. Inazuma. Alright. I need my support to kill. I don't know how anyone could play Mercy. Well, usually when you play with people that, like, aren't awful, you get lots of value. But when you play with people who can't kill, basically, if you play with a bunch of support mains, and somebody plays Mercy, we're not winning. We're not gonna win. Sorry, like, it's just not happening. IT resets in one day. I know. Oh my god, am I an idiot? Oh no, you can't be serious. I thought I got rid of these already. Oh my god, I hate Strongbox, dude. It takes so much time. Oh, fuck. Okay, I know. Oh, yikes. Okay, alright. I'm not looking forward to this. Okay, I guess I gotta get rid of some shit before I come back. What do I want to farm? An obvious set. Well, I gave up on that one. Emily? Apparently this plunging set isn't even that good on Gaming. Apparently his best is, Crimson Witch? Does anyone else use this besides him? Every pyro DPS. Klee can? I mean, would Klee use it over the, like, Hexarai set now? Probably not, right? I mean, I haven't touched it at all. Like, literally at all. Oh my god. Do you guys have a set? Because I don't. I could also farm Tenacity. I still need more golden tree pieces. I could farm more Obsidian Codex for Kanich and for Chaska. Do you make Crimson Witch? No, I'm a Crimson Witch. I don't know. I kind of wish. This seems like no, it's a bad off piece. Damn, this takes fucking forever. Okay. It's bad. Bad. It's bad. It's bad. Well, actually, wait. It's got ER on it. HP main stat. Do any XY DPSs use or XY supports use HP? Nope. It's got ER on it, but it's no crit, so no. HP, no. I don't lock potential pieces. Oh yeah, huh? Dick. Actually, Shiori and Albedo. That's good. If I didn't lock it, I probably was gonna use it anyway. Wait. But I'm scared. Wait. Go Lumi. This seems like a pretty good piece for Goro. Ooh, Goro. Yeah, for Goro. Because I give a fuck about that. Convenient, no. Oh, that's a pretty good, Shalonen piece. Okay, like, okay. Ron Maypeas. Be nice. Honestly, what about if that clear skin just did it? Like, fuck it. You would feel better? Okay, I'm gonna do it then. Oh! It's gomming, but like, what? I'll keep it, I guess, because I leveled it. Oh my god. Really? Don't check? What if there's a potential mother in here? I know, I know, I know. I know. I have a question. My Emily is already like you know, fantastic. And it's kind of hard to upgrade her. I just kind of want, like, maybe a better feather and sands. Do you think I should, like, I shouldn't strongbox, right? I probably should just, like, what should I do? I don't know what to do. Should I just leave it alone? Maybe I should just leave it alone. I don't know. Mana elixir. Yeah. Well, no, hold on. Let me look. Look, she fell down. Look, she's top 1,000 now. She's awful. Look. Oh my god. Well, okay, I took off one of her pieces, but still. Like, it's shit. Look at the sands. Look at the sands! What does kiting mean in the context of Overwatch? Going in and out of people's range. Using sight lines as your advantage. Make sure you're not peeking when you're reloading. That's a big one. You should not be in the vision of the other team when you are reloading because you are doing nothing. And therefore, you're just putting yourself at risk for no reason. Yeah, just going in and out of people's range, trying to bait cooldowns and stuff. Like if I was facing a Cassidy, I would kite him in the way that I would like want to go in and out of his face, and try to get him to use his flash bang. And then hopefully he uses it, and then like there you go, right? So I'd say in that sense, yeah. Yeah. Just craft it. Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. I can craft it. Yeah. My theory just got proved again. Well, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they know nobody wants to go there. So they're just like, anytime it's in rotation, they're just like, well, you know, we never really go here. So it weighs it heavier. I just know it does. Chaska, is Chaska good? Chaska could potentially have a better feather. Could potentially have a better... Damn. Okay, I'm glad you got it. Nice. How do you reroll Nightlink characters that only need, like, piss crit rate? How does that happen? Blood. I think I'm good. Deepwood memories. Husk of Opulent Dreams. I feel like I want another emblem set. Pretty long, but it's been so long. So Abby, what's with the homosexuality? What is that? What's all that about? Like I know it's Pride Month, but it's almost done. So like, what do we do with all that? Rhyme girl. Okay. 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 Nice. Excellent recovery. Good job. That was good. That was good. That was good. Damn. double HP? Hell no. That's good. Tenacity is actually really good. I think Barzon maybe could use that. Double attack. Double crit HP, I guess. But I already really have a good feather already. Or flower already. That is bad. There's no ER on it. This is bad. It's bad. It's got double HP, so I guess it's kind of good. I'll keep it. Prestige win. Oh my god! What? What are you talking about? Oh, oops. Piss EMPs? Yeah. I can feel my skin clearing up. I've been avoiding this for so long. Thank you. Maybe I feel entitled, but these are like so unusably terrible. Like, maybe I feel like entitlement or something right now because these are actually like unsalvageably bad. Like, I can't do anything with these. Oh my god, these are just like, it's so bad. Like, they're, wait, this is used. Yeah, I could use this for T-Join. Oh god. These are like really terrible. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm glad I got rid of some. What does that put me at? I still 2002. Ah, okay, yikes. Okay, well. Let's go do, BU or something. We're back. Goodwill Genshin will lose if CMC doesn't enable the Polestar domain. The Polestar domain? Even, what? The new set coming out? That'd be nice. Oh, the Stellar stuff? Oh, yeah. I'm excited for that. I wonder if... I guess I'm just saving for Sufesna stuff, huh? I wonder if I should just start saving for Vesna. I wonder what I would need, though. It's so stupid. All she had to do was fly in for 3 seconds. Like, all she had to do was fly in for 3 seconds. And I'm like, oh, well, there you got it. There we have it. I'll be adventurous today. You can end the PV, yeah. I have heard... Okay, it's like, okay. I've heard mixed opinions, right? I have perfect opinions. I don't care. Personally, like I don't care, right? But I've seen mixed opinions. I've seen mixed opinions. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, 7X, yeah, 7X designs. Mostly positive, but some people are, some people think that these characters don't stand out enough, right? They don't look Nayan enough, I guess. Except Vodnia, whatever her name is. And the Saritsa, I guess. I'm like, I kinda can get what you mean, I guess. Don't necessarily agree, but I can see it. I really hope that CMC is good. Oh, I get. Oh, yeah, you're right. We are getting a. We are getting a Traveler in the beta, huh? Oh, how fun! I wonder when that happens. That happens this week, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, how wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, this actually might be a fun beta. As long, okay, all we need to do is get the fuck over this awful Rin, Gilgamesh, and Himiko beta. I am so over this. Can we leave? This is so boring. Oh my god. Like, the stellar nonsense was kind of actually interesting because it kept changing a lot. So I'm kind of interested to see where everyone ends up. I'm really happy about Sino and Risley, by the way. I'm very happy about them. I'm not really happy about Sendrone, and I'm happy for Yai. I'm happy for Yai, Sino, and Risley because it feels like those three are just like completely new units. So that's great for them. I really am happy to see that. But I'm really ready to see what CMC does, and I'm really excited to see what the new sets and everything are. So that's gonna be fun. And I'm really excited for Adventure and Robin. Like, oh my god, please. Let's go! Adventure and Robin, I'm very, 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 very excited for.
Dispel the gloom, restore the skies.
I have overcome my internalized homophobia and just played Symmetra. Yeah? Yeah? Yep, another day, another dollar of dog shit. Yep, another day and fucking nothing. Boo. Effect res, effect hit rate? Oh! Nice! Effect hit rate. Oh, okay, break effect. Hold on. Yep, a whole day of nothing. Yet again. I think I hold a whole week of fucking nothing in this. Oh my god. How do you people have relic experience? Because there's nothing to do! There's nothing to do! There's nothing. Where's it at? Wait, where did it go? Where did materials go? Okay, well, whatever I just did. Oh, here they are, okay. Like, there's nothing worth leveling up! There's literally nothing worth leveling up! I just keep getting bullshit! Oh my god. I can't work with any of this. I will say, maybe that's a disadvantage of farming Windset all the time, is that like, I get considerably less pieces that are worth spending time on. So I kind of just sit here and do nothing. I still have no magical or set pieces. Are you joking? Really? Are you joking, actually? No way. I have an hour. Me, but because I'm not pulling anything elation. Yeah. Like maybe the advantage is that you get something to do. Wealth creator. Unless, oh god, yeah. If Venturing lets you do it, then, oh my god, is that later this week? No, this week is Genshin, right? Yeah. DU just takes 20 million years. It is very slow. I wish it was faster.
So I've heard that the key to being like a successful YouTuber is just striking when the iron is hot. Do you know what I mean? Like if people are talking about a thing, you need to be talking about the thing so that you get like a natural algorithm boost. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Do you guys remember when a bunch of Twitter bros tried to convince scientists that absolutely knew better the whole time that a material called LK99 was a room temperature ambient pressure superconductor, despite zero evidence that this was the case? Remember that? The summer of LK99? Topical. Let's talk about that. Wow.
Oh my god,
Okay,
girl.
so this is a science story video and not an explainer video, but I do want to give you just like the briefest background so you can follow along with the story. Materials have electrical properties that can be observed and also measured. Conductors are a class of materials that conduct electricity. They allow electrons to flow freely. In this instance, I am talking about electrical conductivity, but like you can conduct heat and other things. Like you can be a different type of conductor. Today we're talking about electrical conductivity. Good? Good? Okay, so a conductor allows electricity to flow through it, right? It conducts electricity. It's good at that. You can compare that to an insulator, you know, which doesn't do that. Some of the best like elemental god damn it. There are words where I am using like a physicist definition and I worry the chemists are gonna get mad at me. When I say elemental conductor, I mean like if you had a hunk of that element and you were gonna use it to conduct electricity, some of them are good at that and some of them are not. In fact, I have a periodic table now. I'm a real professional. Give me a second. So I have a periodic table taped to the wall in this otherwise very dark room in my basement. And if you're talking like elemental conductor, like you have a hunk of it, this column here, best conductors. And like obviously you could make composite materials out of lots of things, but if we're just talking like basic ass level of conductors, it's here, copper, silver, gold. Okay, this column, well, there's a lot you can learn about electrons and like elemental structure from looking at the periodic table, but this column here is telling us that these metals have one electron in their outer shell. So if you're conducting electricity, having one electron that you can easily spring free or add back on makes it like really nice and easy to have electricity flowing through a material. Cool. So if I was teaching a class and I was like, hey, these guys have one electron, they're good conductors, what do you think would make a good insulator? That's right, maybe the noble gases would be good insulators because their electron shells are filled and it's hard to take electrons off them. Cool. But I know what you're saying. Okay, alkali metals, these guys, they also have only one electron in their outer shell, so shouldn't these be good conductors? And like, they are. It's like an order of magnitude less than this column. That's because of like electron density. But I just want to point out the alkali metals because like when someone does point at the periodic table and say, look, they've got one electron, that makes them good conductors. Like that is a reason they're good conductors. It's not the reason. There are lots of reasons why materials behave the way they do. For example, alkali metals, they're you can't like manufacture them. You're gonna make a solid hunk of sodium wire. I hope it's not hot that day. God forbid that wire gets wet.
Oh my god.
Or like rubidium. Like, yeah, you can get a hunk of rubidium, but it's gonna melt. You can't use it to make a conductor. You know, francium, the universe says you can't even have that one. You're not allowed to. It doesn't matter if you have $1 trillion. You can never hold francium in your hand. That's against the rules. So yeah, copper, silver, gold. Silver and gold are like rarer and more expensive and bendier. So like when we're usually doing electricity stuff for like home use, we have copper wires. Okay, I'm gonna sit back down now. Okay, we're so back. Why do you look like you're at an angle? Can you not? Like, imagine if this was like a person holding the camera. I'm just yelling. No, I'm not. Okay, so conductance is related to resistivity, which you might be more familiar with. Here's the equation. It's a volume property. It's related to like the material itself and then like the size and shape of whatever you want to be resistive. Cool. You see that conductivity is like an inverse of resistivity. So if a material is a good conductor, that means there's low resistance. The resistance to the flow of electricity is small, which means it's good at conducting. So when you see something be a good conductor, you should clock low resistance in the material. Cool, so that's a conductor. What's a superconductor? A superconductor is a material that's like super good at conducting.
Okay.
So superconductors can be classified according to different properties, but in a superconductor, resistance vanishes. There is no resistance to the flow of electricity. So superconductivity was first displayed in 1911 in a cryomercury experiment. When mercury is at 4 Kelvin, it displays the properties of superconductors. Zero resistance to electricity flow. And this is like a boom in research. Condensed matter theory, materials physics is one of the biggest fields of physics. People have been researching this for over 100 years. The theory to describe the effects we observe in superconductors is called BCS theory, and that came out in the 1950s-ish. Like I said, this is one of the biggest subfields of physics. It is a very interesting field of research, and people are doing lots of things all the time. Research is coming out all the time. So we classify superconductors through a couple different things. One of the things is their critical temperature. At what temperature does this material go from being like a regular conductor or regular metal to a superconductor? You can also look at how these superconductors behave around magnetic fields. Superconductors display something called the Meissner effect, where when they've reached that critical temperature and they are in their superconducting mode, they evacuate magnetic fields. So if you place them near a magnet, they will, well, the way it works is like they create like these little mini currents that counter the field exactly. They levitate. It's called the Meissner effect.
Okay.
Levitation is interesting, but really what we're seeing is the magnetic fields being evacuated from the material. So just because you see something levitating doesn't necessarily mean it's a superconductor. Like, this is not enough. Diamagnetism is a pretty common-ish property of materials. Ferromagnets can also behave in interesting ways around magnets. This is not enough to prove superconductor. This is like the demo. This is the demo you take to like elementary schools and stuff, but this is not data. People can just fake videos, you guys. It's not. So you could ask, why is this one of the biggest subfields of physics? Why do we want superconductors? And I'm always going to have like the most non-cynical answer to that question, which is like, if professional physicists are interested in researching something, we should let them, because we don't know what the results will be. Science is incremental, and like maybe they discover something. Like, you know, for example, MRI machines use superconducting wires. So without some guy farting around in his lab in 1911 being like, when you get this real cold, it doesn't have resistance, we wouldn't have MRI machines, which of course improve healthcare and lead to like medical discoveries. So why do we care about superconductors? Like, let them research it, let them figure it out. That's all I have to say. But like, also the properties of superconductors are beneficial in other fields of advanced research. Like, of course, superconductors generate these big magnetic fields, which is why they're used in MRIs, but that's also helpful in like quantum experiments, like atom traps or nuclear reactors. Like, you want to keep all of your ingredients in the smallest, tiniest little box, so when you start your runaway process, you have everything there together. To do that, you need these giant magnetic fields, so you use superconducting materials. with everything, I'm always like, well, research is for research, but there's also industrial applications. One of the issues with the industrial applications of superconductors is that they have to be real fucking cold. So right now, I mean, this is not my field of research, so I only know, like, I don't know any of the secrets of what the actual best superconductors are, but like right now in the public, the best superconductors operate at like 200 Kelvin, which I should have looked up. That's gonna be like negative 100 Fahrenheit.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want to get into units discourse. It's fine. Just convert. It doesn't matter what unit you use except Rankine. Rankine is a stupid temperature scale. That's just dumb. But the best superconductors at this moment, meaning the ones that can operate at like regular-ish temperatures, work at about 200 Kelvin, which is still quite cold. You still have to have a whole refrigeration setup if you're going to use it. So industrial applications are limited with the associated cost of like keeping everything really cold. If you're just making some ordinary electrical setup in a building, you could just use copper and deal with the loss due to heat and just deal with it, because like copper is pretty good. Or you could get a superconducting wire and keep everything so cold and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on cooling. Do you know what I mean? Like at this moment, industrial applications are limited, which is why people want a room temperature superconductor, because if you have the thing that does the thing at a room temperature and you don't have to cool it, well then now you're in business. Now you can use it for those everyday uses. So that's why room temperature superconductor is like instant Nobel Prize. And I've spent this whole video, and I will continue to say room temperature. When I say room temperature, I mean room temperature and also ambient pressure. You can get a room temperature superconductor if you also have it under high pressure. But what you want, if you want to use it in everyday applications, is room temperature and also ambient pressure. But like PV equals nRT, like pressure and temperature are related. So I will be saying room temperature. I want you to remember room temperature plus ambient pressure. Got it. Great. So that's the background. That's all you need to know. Let's talk about LK99. So Saturday, July 22nd, 2023, a paper appeared on the archive. The first room temperature ambient pressure superconductor by authors Lee, Kim, and Kwon. It's on the archive. They have a material they've been working on since 1999. LK99, LK for the authors, 99 for the year with which I started working on it. The evidence they have is this. Little videos saying like, see, this is the Meissner effect. This is levitating. It's a room temperature superconductor. And within the paper are some plots being like, hey, look, this behavior is a superconductor. We did it. The first ever room temperature ambient pressure superconductor. The abstract says that this material, LK99, behaves like a superconductor up to 400 Kelvin, which, if you remember earlier, I said the best superconductors were right now at 200 Kelvin. This is extraordinary to claim, right?
Okay.
You went from having to freeze superconductors at incredibly cold temperatures to like, these will work on the hottest days in the desertest of deserts.
Oh my god.
That's extraordinary. That's shocking. And then
Yeah.
2 days later, July 25th, 2023, Alex Kaplan, who has an undergraduate degree from the physics department at Princeton University and, you know, should have known better, tweeted this. Today might have been the biggest physics discovery of my lifetime. I don't think people fully grasp the implications of the ambient temperature pressure superconductor. Here's how it could totally change our lives. 1 billion kilowatt of electricity are wasted on transmission losses each year in the US alone. That's equivalent to 3 of our largest nuclear reactors running 24/7. Superconductivity enables lossless electricity transmission at high voltages and currents. According to the authors, the LK99 material can be prepared in about 34 hours with extremely basic lab equipment, a mortar and pestle, basic vacuum, and furnace. These results could replicate within days or weeks. 3. Nuclear fusion reactors rely on superconductors for plasma confinement. Modern designs use RBCO, YBCO superconductors cooled with liquid helium, creating a huge temperature gradient and challenging operation. Ambient superconductors enable a whole host of new reactor designs. 4. Quantum computers use superconductors to preserve coherence in qubits. Small changes in temperature and pressure can cause the entire QC to fail during operation. Imagine a room temperature quantum computer on your desktop. Now possible. Okay. 5. Superconductors might be the best batteries out there. Simply inject a current and keep it in the coil until you need it. Previously, too costly to maintain. Now, totally feasible. 6. Your iPhone won't overheat when playing Subway Surfer with a YouTube video on your phone anymore. Ultra-efficient computer chips will have zero resistive losses during their operation with superconductors. No need for cooling fans. 7, and the common ones. Super cheap MRI machines, maglev trains everywhere, and super efficient electric grids. Basically this. And then it's like a Star Trek-style utopia picture. 8. I cannot contain my excitement. It feels like January of 2020 with a huge wave coming that no one realizes yet, but in a much better way. What a time to be alive! Check out the paper. Addendum. A lot of my at Princeton physics friends are convinced this is pretty legit, and I am too. Like, figure 4 is a pretty good sign. And was nowhere to be found in the previous DS et al. Fiasco. Hopes are up. So the DS et al. Fiasco was in 2020. A guy got a paper and published in Nature saying he had a room temperature superconductor, and like people were immediately like, hey, this is fake. This is obviously fake. We can't reproduce this in any way, and it got retracted. That was much bigger in the physics community because it was like, you know, actually published. So this tweet went viral.
It was published.
Millions
Wow.
of people were looking at it. Subreddits were formed with very serious science-minded people who were like, we can't be posting memes. This is serious science. There's talk of like, don't get your hopes up. Science is so slow, which is funny because we're in the future. So this was like hype from Twitter bros. But scientists were not paying any attention to this in any way at all for reasons which I will get into later. So July 31st, 2023, a Dr. Griffin from Lawrence Berkeley National Lab puts a theory paper on the archive as a preprint and announces it on Twitter.
Oh.
I'm not
What
gonna
the
lie,
fucking-
this is like cringe into the deepest,
Oh my god. Was it Obama meme? No.
deepest part of my bones. Like you're posting a link to your preprint on the archive with an Obama mic drop gif. I can't look at it. Don't make me look at this. Yikes. And especially once you read the content of the paper, to have posted this tweet. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Also, interestingly, like the next day, another group from Boulder posted their theory work, like a very similar theory analysis. These papers do not say, oh, look, LK99 might be a superconductor. If you read these theoretical analyses of models of LK99 as described in the original preprint that was posted July 23rd, what these two papers say are like, well, there is something interesting. Something could possibly be there, which is how science works, right? Usually people don't write papers like, I agree it could be a superconductor, because you don't have enough evidence to claim that. So when you write a paper, you're like, I did a theoretical analysis and I saw this, which could be an interesting feature. Maybe. But then to pair that with this tweet of like a mic drop, you knew what you were doing. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I don't like it. But anyway, because these are respected scientists, and they still are, the hype on Twitter is like huge. Now they're like, we're so back. A real scientist agreed.
Oh.
This is confirmation. It wasn't a confirmation. If you read the papers that were put up, they weren't confirmations, but like you can't expect people getting all their science news from Twitter to read the papers. They actually rely on other tweeters to read the papers and summarize them for them. Like this guy, Andrew Cote, he's like, here's the plain English explanation for the paper, just like giving a 2-paragraph explanation, and like his explanation is fine. I just find it really interesting that he's like, these results support LK99. No, they don't. That's specifically not what that paper does. And he even says it. He says, lastly, these interesting conduction pathways only form when the copper atom percolates into the less likely location in the crystal lattice, or the higher energy binding site. This means the material will be difficult to synthesize since only a small fraction of crystal gets its copper in just the right location. So LK99, that paper is like, this thing is so easy to make, it's so easy to manufacture, and as soon as you make it 34 hours later, it's amazing and brilliant and works as a superconductor. And These theory papers say, well, there is an interesting property of this material that's like really not likely to happen in large samples. So it would be very, very, very hard to make as like an industrial manufacturing scale. Those aren't the same things. He says these theory results support the LK99 work, and then he directly contradicts himself with what the paper actually says. These don't support LK99. I really like the way this Reddit comment explains it, so I'm going to read it to you. He is exaggerating the significance of the theoretical papers. It's not like they simulated the material and concluded it was a superconductor. It's more like if a biologist had published a photo of a dragon and wrote a paper claiming he had seen it breathe fire. Then someone wrote a response paper saying, I have no idea if this photo shows a dragon or if dragons can even exist, but the proportions of the limbs look pretty much right for an animal, and there's a weird pouch under its neck that could maybe be involved with breathing fire. The theoretical results just mean the initial claim isn't completely preposterous, not that it's actually valid. And again, if you read the papers, it's obvious that that's what they actually say. When you saw people at the time talking about this story, they would say like, oh, the initial results referring to these two theory papers proved that it was a real superconductor. And no, not in any way at all. These papers say, hey, it's not crazy that something interesting could be happening. And that's it. That's all. It's just like, in my opinion, these two theory papers are like inching towards grifting. In my opinion, these two papers were written maybe in some sort of attempt to bolster their tenure profile and be like, look at all the media attention I get, look at all the press I get. Because in my opinion, you are intentionally misrepresenting your results in order to feed this hype train and get attention. And it's very funny to me that two separate groups of respected scientists decided to do this at exactly the same time. That's funny, but it's not good. It's not good that they did that. And of course, you know, scientists must respond to this. Like, these are real groups making real claims that, okay, you have to look at it now. August 8th, 2023, when LK99 is thoroughly 100% debunked by like 4 different groups. Here's a tweet where someone was like, here's the paper in my Google Drive, and then they put it on the archive later. These are the papers that would of course get published with the actual results, and it's thoroughly debunked. First it also wasn't published. It was placed on the archive. It was not submitted to a journal. This was never a published paper. Placed on the archive July 23rd, 2023, thoroughly debunked in every single aspect by August 8th, 2023.
Oh my,
a little over
a month?
2 weeks. Fantastic claim, hilarious, very specific point-by-point debunk. 2 weeks later. Crazy.
Wow.
What a crazy time.
Wow.
It's so... I didn't really talk about what the context of the LK99 paper was because there was nothing there. But when I describe the debunk to you, you will learn a little more about what the LK99 group thought they were doing and why they had no idea. So first, let's talk about the Meissner effect. So the LK99 group posted videos like this, which like people got really excited about, I guess. But like, have you ever seen a superconductor? Like a demo displaying the Meissner effect? Those look like this. This is a very lackadaisical levitation. Would you call this levitating? This looks like, do you know that Chris Angel mind freak guy where he would like stand on the heel and be like, no, if you stand directly right here, it looks like I'm levitating. I'm doing that. That's what this is.
Oh my god.
This is such a big fucking magnet. If this material they had was in any way a superconductor, this thing would be like inches above it. This is a huge magnet. This is obviously not a superconductor. This is obviously not the Meissner effect. This doesn't even look impressive. This is like a child playing with like that little toy, like with paper clips on a magnet. Who fell for this? Not scientists. There was a scientist, let me read his name. Derek Van Gennep. Gennep? I'm so sorry, Derek Van Gennep. He was like, this looks to me like ferromagnetism. So I took some graphite and I squished it together with my fingers, and look, I can recreate what they've got. This is not the Meissner effect. This is not superconductivity. I find that very funny. He didn't even publish a paper. He was just like, look, you can just recreate this video. This is nonsense. I like this. I like this guy a lot. But once these theory papers got published, of course, physicists were like, well, we have to respond. We're going to actually publish a paper. And one of the first was this Chinese group where they recreated the LK99 sample like as best they could from the instructions given in the paper, which were not great because it wasn't a well-written paper. And they found immediately that it was not a superconductor.
Oh.
It was everyday ferromagnetism.
Oh, thanks a lot, Paul, by the way. I appreciate
read a
it.
quote from one of the authors. Li Yan said, "It's like
What are we
the
watching?
firing iron experiment.
A video
The ball
about
gets a lithium force, but
superconductors.
it's not enough to levitate it, just enough to keep it
From Angela.
balanced on one end. The LK99 sample, they're saying, look, it's the Meissner effect. Everyone's saying, well, no, this is ferromagnetism. So what is causing it to be a ferromagnet? So now I have to tell you that on Twitter, during this 2-week period, people were trying to recreate LK99 in like their home labs. Anyone who had access to any equipment and was like a Twitter bro was doing this. There was like a Russian cat girl who claimed to have made it in like her home. She was some sort of soil scientist and she was like, look, I have a picture. I'm not going to take a video, but like it's super easy. And there's this guy, Andrew McCullough.
Of what happens. It's just very, very cool.
Shit, sorry. Oh my god.
Move so quickly to like advance the science.
It's not CGI. Yeah. It's absolutely real. So it's either something novel or some sort of anomalous magnetic behavior that we haven't really seen before.
And there's this guy, Andrew McCallop, and he was like live streaming his recreation on Twitch. And he was following the instructions, which were not very well laid out because you guys, they had been working on this for 25 years and they couldn't make the samples. Okay, but anyway, Andrew McCallop, he's the first person I think in America, because like the scientists didn't take this seriously for like the first week, right? But the Twitter bros were. So he recreated the sample and then it was taken to USC and they did X-ray spectrography on it and they found like a bunch of iron in it. McCallop called this Meissner effect or bust. He was gonna recreate it and it's like a huge bust. Like the way they made the material means it had a bunch of iron impurities in it. And if a metal has iron in it,
It's fucked.
Ferromagnet and it
Yeah.
will do this.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the Meissner effect. No. Videos like this are demonstrations. They are not what a superconductor is. It's a demo. So what you actually have to debunk is whether or not the LK99 material shows nearly zero resistance at 400 Kelvin. And in order to do that, you have to make the sample. This is my favorite part of the debunk. This American chemist from Illinois, he's Professor Jane. He wrote a quick paper that was like, hey, I'm a professional chemist. They are citing a very specific temperature, and I recognize that temperature immediately as a transition of copper sulfide, which, if you look at the LK99 paper, you can see that has obviously contaminated their sample. So what they are seeing is the behavior of copper sulfide. This guy is like what the dream is, right? He's like, oh, I have this huge amount of information in my head about chemistry. I see what you're trying to do. I can clock that immediately as you have copper sulfide in your sample and it is causing exactly what we expect copper sulfide to do, which is behave like a pretty good conductor. And this is because the LK99 group had an unbalanced chemical equation when they were trying to make this material. For every one LK99 they made 17 copper and 5 sulfur. Their sample of LK99 was mostly copper sulfide.
Oh my god.
And copper sulfide is a conductor. And the temperature they're claiming to observe is associated with copper sulfide. It's not a superconductor at room temperature, it's copper at room temperature. You know, think like a scientist. You want to test this further, and that's what this Chinese group did, where they were like, okay, well, let's make LK99 and just change the fraction of copper sulfide and see how that changes the superconductor properties.
Wouldn't
so
that
they
make
changed
it
the level
the
of copper
temperature not-
sulfide impurity in their sample, and they saw that it changed the curves. They were like, this is not a superconductor, this is just copper. It behaves like copper sulfide. And then this German group was like, that makes sense. Cool. If we were to, I don't know, make a pure sample of LK99 without any copper sulfide, and then we did the same measurement, we wouldn't see
Damn, see
a
what's wrong.
conductor at all, right? Because you remove the thing doing the conducting. right? And so this German group, again, within 2 weeks, made a pure sample of this material that this group from Korea had been trying to do for 25 years. And they had a pure sample, and they found that actually LK99 is an insulator. It's not a conductor at all. These results were also backed up by theorists who made working theoretical models of the material, and they were like, we would not expect this to be a superconductor in any way. All of this was published together in a nice little Nature write-up that I don't have access to because I'm not giving Springer money. I will not. The copper sulfide impurities causing a metal to look like a conductor because it's got copper in it is very interesting to me because this is a known fact about copper sulfide. In the 1830s, there was an English physicist called Robert Fox, and he would go into mines and like measure the electrical conductivity of different ores and minerals and how they changed with like depth and temperature and stuff. And he noted that mixing metals with sulfur made them act as conductors. And there's tons of papers since. I saw this paper from the 50s, a Japanese paper, where they're like, hey, look, we measured the resistance of copper sulfide. We measured the phase transitions. Look at this temperature. Okay, so there's a saying in experimental physics, which is that 10 minutes in the library will save you 10 years in the lab. All of this information was known to the community. Had the LK99 group submitted this paper, and it turns out they had submitted it years earlier.
They're saying Lucia doesn't have side grades. Oh. Reddit?
Earlier, it got immediately rejected, which it still would. It would have. If they had submitted this paper, maybe it would have gotten desk rejected, and the person would have been like, hey, you just need to read up on materials. Or maybe it would have gone to a reviewer, and they would have got someone like Professor Jane, who would have been like, hey, I recognize that temperature. You have a copper sulfide contamination. That's what's causing this, you know? This was immediately clocked as incorrect by physicists, and in a little over 2 weeks was completely debunked. This group had been trying to make a sample for 25 years, and Germans did it in 2 weeks. Is LK99 a room temperature superconductor? Absolutely not, no. But we knew that the whole time. And this is when everyone started thinking it was so over. On August 6th, there was a YouTube video published that was an interview with Alex Kaplan, which is like this Twitter guy, and he was like, I'll say publicly, there's like a 10% chance. And it's like, where are you getting that number, man? 10% chance. You're one day. You are within hours of seeing the thorough debunks. Like,
I think people are still underestimating the importance of this thing. You know, if there's a chance it's real, which I'll say publicly kind of for the first time, I would put it around 10% or something. Like, I don't think it's going to turn out, but there is a chance it's real. This would be like the most important physics discovery of our lifetime.
Oh my god.
Far.
Whoa.
where do you get the number 10% chance? But, you know, he was the hype man. Now he has to like kind of ease into being like, man, I guess not, right? This guy, Andrew Coate, is like, okay, there's been a number of replications. No, stop saying that there were studies that confirmed the results of elk. They did not. None of them did. He's like, well, now I'm increasingly skeptical. And then he blamed the papers for being like, you guys gave me hope. And it's like, well, if you had read those papers thoroughly, you would have understood that they were not confirmations of LK99. But also, if you're tweeting mic drops, then you want to convince people that it's a thing. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of messed up. Although Griffin, she gave an interview on like one of the Nature things where they were trying to wrap everything up, and she was like, hey, my paper never said LK99 was a superconductor. And it's like, that's true, but also you tweeted this. So what are you saying? You knew that you were publishing something that was like scientifically defensible. Like, hey, there could be something interesting here. But you also knew the public would interpret your like wishy-washy, like, maybe it's worth looking into as confirmation. And they did, because every time you look up this story, people talk about how in the early days there were lots of confirmations, even though there wasn't a single confirmation, because your paper was not a confirmation of the superconductor properties of LK99. But you did benefit from the fact that people, like, you confused people on purpose. It's just that this whole moment might be the most embarrassing thing in this whole saga. I don't like looking at it. Like, days later, all of the people who are tweeting are just like, we're doomed. Our dreams are dashed. It's so over. It's so over. And it was. I think this is a fascinating story. Like, it's a nice little packet of, like, someone makes extraordinary claims, this whole group of experts in their fields come together and they come up with theoretical models, they run experiments, they create samples, they do tests, and they're like, no. I don't know if you could tell, but I wanted to keep saying the countries people were from because, like, it's so interesting that, like, this happened so quickly. Like, the Europeans would go to sleep and the Chinese teams would take over, you know, like, everyone paused what they were doing to be like, all right, I guess we'll take a look at this. I think it's a fascinating story of science working. That's the story, right? Someone posts a preprint, not even a submitted paper, on the archive, July 23rd. Full debunk, absolutely not. This paper makes no sense. A little over 2 weeks later. What a ride. I love it. Science works. And honestly, you could probably stop watching here if you want. That's the story. Like, scientists knew it was nothing the whole time, but people got so excited that they had to respond, and they did, and it only took them 2 weeks. Isn't that lovely? These people all across the world, these experts in their field with their brains full of, like, literature reviews, are able to look at the paper and immediately clock, like, that's a weird temperature. That model doesn't make sense. Why can't we just make a sample? 2 weeks. Crazy. It's so cool. I love it. I love it. You can just solve problems like this. That's amazing. But if you want to keep going, I have more to say. Because this story, it doesn't make any fucking sense, does it? I feel like everyone has forgotten LK99. Like, scientists, they knew it was nothing the whole time. But the Twitter hype got so big that they were like, I guess here, no, see? And then the hype died down, and the LK99 Twitter people just, they moved on to the next thing and forgot about it. But I remember it, and I think it's weird that it became a thing at all. The first time I heard about LK99 was I woke up to a bunch of emails, and people were like, you gotta check this, you gotta make a video on this. They made a room temperature that's gonna change the world. You gotta make a video. And I knew immediately that I would not make a video. Well, I guess I am making a video, but about the event, not really the paper, about that paper, because as soon as you click on it, I mean, you can just see the title and know that this is not science. There's nothing in here. Like, that's a trend I noticed. Everyone I talked to with a scientific background was like, I can't believe people are taking this seriously. This is nonsense, you know? And the Twitter bros are like, guys, infinite power, abundance. Your cell phone can do Subway Surfers and YouTube at the same time. Isn't that weird? Like, how did every scientist in the world know, I don't need to pay attention to this, this isn't anything? And then everyday people without scientific experience had a completely different reaction. What's going on with scientific literacy? It's just that this is a weird thing that has happened. It is weird that the biggest science event of the summer was so exciting and so interesting, except to scientists who knew it was garbage crap the whole time. Like, that's weird. It's weird, right? So my understanding is that scientists develop an intuition for which papers are worth their time and which papers are not. Because the thing is, thousands of papers are put on the archive every year. A lot of crap gets through their little crackpot filter, and there's just not enough time. So when people emailed me a link to this archive, I saw the title and I was like, not worth my time. But like, let's just go through it together. I get this email and immediately my brain says, no, that's not anything. Because like this is not my field, but I know what the current level of like average superconductor is, and I know that this is a huge jump in technology. So my assumption is that no, of course they didn't change the world. There's a quote from Ina Vishik. She's a professor of condensed matter physics at UC Davis, and it's in one of the Nature write-ups. She says, "My first impression was no."
My first impression was no.
Also me. My first impression is also no, of course. These unidentified superconducting objects, as they're sometimes called, reliably show up on the archive. There's a new one every year or so. Yeah. Like this
My first
happens all
impression
the
was
time,
no.
and it's never been anything. You don't understand how often this appears on the archive. You don't have to pay attention to this, right? But then, like, say you go further, and you want to look in the archive, and you'll see this wasn't even submitted. Like, this was not submitted to a journal. This isn't even, like, it's not an article. It hasn't been peer reviewed, but it also hasn't even started the process of getting peer reviewed.
Oh my god.
I don't need to pay attention to this. If you want to go further,
Jakey, thank you so much for the
open
gift sub, by the way. I
PDF,
appreciate it.
and it's a fucking Word document. You guys, this isn't
It's
what
a Word document? Oh my god, no!
PDF, and it's a fucking Word document. You guys, this isn't what a science paper. This is a Word doc. No one's writing their papers.
No,
in Word.
it goes on a fucking website.
If you open this again, immediately no. This isn't worth your time. There are so many good papers to read. There is so much good research out there. You don't need to waste your time on this. This is not going to be a thing. But I mean, then you can check the affiliations. Like, do you think earth-shattering, world-changing, giant paradigm-shifting leap forwards in superconductor technology is going to be from a company you've never heard of? No. But I mean, we can still go further. Look at what this says. For the first time in the world. That's not how science.
The first time in the world?
That's not a thing. It's just, this is not how people speak. Even the title, I find very suspicious. Right away from the title, "We have done this," is suspicious. Because usually scientists are a little more cagey than that. Usually they'll say, like, possibility of. This is weird and ostentatious, and it makes me think it's not real. And I was right to think all those things. But then, like, again, you could keep researching it. Why is it LK99? What is that? Oh, they've been working on this since 1999. They say it's incredibly easy to manufacture. It's made from household ingredients in a high school level chemistry lab.
Oh my god.
And it's a room temperature superconductor, and they have been working on it for 25 years. And no, that doesn't make any sense. You don't have to read this to know it doesn't make sense. And of course, I am not a condensed matter physicist. This is not my field, but these plots are nonsense. First of all, they're really poorly formatted and you can't read them, but also, this does not show anything. Any person from any field of science, I think, could look at these plots and be like, this is bad. This is not how data is presented. This is not a good paper. You don't have to read this or know anything about superconductors to clock this as what it is, which is why the scientific community was not interested in any way at all in this. So why were Twitter bros so excited? What does this say about the state of scientific literacy in the world that every single scientist is like, immediately no, and Twitter bros are like, guys, Star Trek abundance is happening. Imagine infinite power. Now, obviously, my little checklist of things I was clocking does not automatically mean a paper is bunk, right? Like, people put preprints on the archive all the time before they submit it. Like, there's this thing in Europe where they get like months of vacation. Isn't this crazy? Whoa. And sometimes people will be finishing something up, but they don't want to like go through the whole thing to submit it. So they'll just plop it on the archive to make sure it's out there, and they'll submit it when they get back from their vacation.
Right, these two glorious.
Yeah, that sounds good. So like, I mean, that's not crazy. And like, there's a language difference, right? So maybe the way they're phrasing the title is how they do it in their native language, and they've translated it, and I'm just clocking it as weird. Sure. I mean, maybe. Fine. I've also heard that chemists sometimes put their preprints up in Word documents, which is fucking crazy. That's bonkers, but I mean, maybe they do. And also, like, I was like, I've never heard of this company. I mean, every company you've heard of used to be a company you hadn't heard of. Like, maybe this was their big breakthrough. I'm just saying, all of those things aren't like an automatic no. It's the combination with the topic and what this looks like, and the fact that the plots look like this all together, immediately you clock this as what it is, right? All of this together tells you not to waste your time on this. Guys, you don't know how much, there's so much science being done. Why would a scientist ever waste their time on this when they could read something that was like actually thought out by someone who knows the field they're working in and is a well put together paper? Why should I waste what little time I have on God's green earth reading this paper when they don't even believe in it enough to put it under peer review? Do you know what I mean? I respect myself more than this. I don't need to look at this. Listen, I'm not saying the average person needs to have a handle on BCS theory, but you know that the best superconductors right now are operating at like 200 Kelvin. This group says, hey, we've doubled that. You've never heard of us. Our samples look like this. We certainly won't send them to people to test, and also we refuse to submit our paper for peer review. You should see those facts and be like,
I thought you were
I
going
don't
to say something
need to
else. You
worry
should.
about this is nonsense. I think the average person should be able to do that, and it frightens me that this got so much hype when obviously, you guys, obviously, I want to compare this paper to a different paper. This is a paper from 1986. The authors submitted this paper specifically to a easy to publish in journal where they knew the editor. That's a little sus, right? And also, they're from IBM. That's a company. And, but like, look at the title. Possible high T superconductor. Compare that to, for the first time in the world, we have done the impossible. But like, look at the plots. Look at this paper. This is a nice paper. They're saying, hey, it's possible we have a high temperature superconductor. Listen, we haven't seen the Meissner effect. These are early results, but like, look at it. This paper blew up the world. This paper was published in Germany, and they're like, hey, possibly we have a new idea in superconductors, right? 8 weeks later, groups in Japan and the US had recreated the results. This was an explosion in superconductor research. This paper came out in 1986. These guys won the Nobel Prize in 1987. That's a hell of a turnaround. I think that's still the record. Okay, this is what an actual paper looks like. See the difference? Twitter is like, these are the same things. And it seems obvious to me. Like, seeing this, someone emailing me this and be like, this is the biggest news of your lifetime, I can immediately clock it for what it is. I have like a little ticker in my brain and I'm like, oh, I see all these things. I don't need to read this. Of course, I could be wrong. I could be proven a fool. Like, again, this is their extraordinary claim. They could easily prove it. Give the sample to the lab. Make it again and show us an actual
Reproduce
video.
your results.
Like, they could have easily proven it, and then there I would be, boo-boo the fool, being like, I didn't believe it at first. And like, that's fine. It's on them to prove what the thing they're saying is true is true. This is how science works. It is not my job to prove your barely legible Word document with undescribably bad plots is a science paper, right? And yet, I just think a person with zero science background should be able to see the difference in these two things without knowing anything about superconductor theory. Like, one of these papers is reporting their findings without hyperbole in a easy to read, easy to understand manner with plots that make sense. And you can compare that to this, which is nonsense. This is a viral Twitter experience. This is not a science paper. And I think you could see this disparity in a lot of the discussions that were being had. Someone would post as if they had a lot of knowledge, being like, this changes everything, infinite abundance. You know, I have an example. Let me read it to you. There is substantial evidence that shows a new material that has drastically reduced resistance when compared to current standard materials used for electronics. Research about LK99 was submitted for peer review, and if the claims are real, which most signs point to them being so, we could be entering a new era of computing where LK99 replaces the copper used in electronics due to the significantly reduced heat produced by the metal. So there's that. So this guy responds by quoting, if the claims are real, which most signs point to them being so, by saying, that's debatable. It seems that the results have not been reproduced so far, and people in the field have doubt about the premises. Some data seems weird. Saying that all signs point to it being real is a bit premature, like so polite. So like, this guy posted nonsense, and someone who understands what's going on has to be like, hey, actually, like, let's look at this again. It says there is substantial evidence that shows a new material that has drastically reduced resistance when compared to current standard. No, there is not substantial evidence. There's this, and these plots you can't read. Everyone was saying this. Where were they getting it? They were, of course, just repeating what the Twitter bros were saying, who also had no idea. Further, Research about LK99 was submitted for peer review. Absolutely no, it wasn't. It was placed in the archive. That's not the same thing. No. And if the claims are real, which most signs point to them being so,
No, they
there were
were.
no signs. The claims were incredibly ambitious, and every single scientist clocked it immediately as no. And yet, people feel very confident being like, scientists, their reports, they're saying, is like, no, they're not. They're absolutely not. They go on to say, or we've all been fooled, and a group of highly skilled scientists are trying to fool us into thinking they have something they don't. First of all, you've been fooled. The scientific community was not fooled. I wouldn't call this a group of highly skilled scientists. They can't even make a plot, okay? The disparity between what is happening and how Twitter bros are responding, it's oceans apart. Nobody thought this was legit. Scientists were not excited. And yet, this was the story that was being told at the time. It's shocking. Some scientists gave these interviews after this whole debacle being like, well, a positive thing is that people got really invested in science. And I would say that maybe I'm just more cynical. I do not see this event as positive because the people who experienced it, as in this Reddit thread, were not experiencing factual events. They are not living through what is actually happening. They are living in, guys, it's going to be infinite energy. Scientists are saying, even though none of the scientists were saying, the public saw this garbage Word document on the archive and they were like, whoa, a group of skilled scientists have made a report and put it for peer review.
Oh my god, oh my god, and it's a Google Doc? Come on, guys, no. It's a Google Doc. Since when do you see a Google Doc paper? Not a Google Doc. Oh no.
That's just not what happened. If you believed that this was a group of skilled scientists who put a paper through peer review, you may have seen scientists quickly respond and do what science does and be like, here you go. But that's not what happened. The whole community knew that this was bunk the whole time. I have been fascinated by this event for 3 years because I don't think it makes any fucking sense. How can there be thousands of people who claim to be super interested in science, who claim to be following the latest science? Guys, let's not meme about this. Let's take this seriously and also be convinced by this, proving they don't know anything about science. How can people be so hyped? How can they be waking up at 3 a.m. to check Twitter threads in response to this? I think I have the answer, and I think it has to do with conspiracy physics. There's a group of people who think physicists haven't done anything in 70 years. They think physicists just want to make new super colliders. They think there's some evil cabal. If you say string theory is stupid in physics, they cut your face off. Did you know? That's what they're like. I made a video about them, and I don't think I was mean enough about
Oh my god.
how dumb it is to think that. But these conspiracy physicists see something like, oh my god, this tiny group you've never heard of from Korea made a room temperature superconductor. Real scientists have been trying to do that for 100 years. Don't you see? Don't you see? It's a little guy. They can stop their gatekeeping because look, this group has done something amazing. And they want to believe that's so bad that this is convincing to them. This little guy. They're like, see? Alex Kaplan, the original tweeter in this saga, not in real life. He's quite young. He says this a lot in interviews. He'll be like, well, the gatekeepers want to keep people out. And this whole thing just proves that, like, we should listen to everyone. Everyone's ideas are important.
That's in theory what science is, right?
Yeah. But, like, at least in this case, we have all these gatekeepers trying to keep people out from the conversation.
Oh my.
But if you can prove it, then your results speak for themselves.
To me, the observer is that scientists decided, hey, this isn't worth investigating. This paper is nonsense. And it went viral on Twitter. So scientists were forced to respond. And within 2 weeks, they were able to say, see, we were...
2 weeks is really insane, by the way.
Right. If anything, this whole saga proves that, like, gatekeeping is good. Because why waste your time on this? You know not to. These scientists spent 25 years trying to manufacture a material, having no idea that the way they were making it was from an unbalanced chemical equation, which was just absolutely doping this thing with iron and copper. 25 years they spent on this. Science isn't gatekeeping by not letting these people publish their papers. It's just they don't know what they're doing and it's nonsense. There's no reason to publish that because it adds nothing to the scientific community. It pisses me off, you guys. I can't take this seriously. Nobody is gatekeeping you from doing science in your basement. Go ahead and do it. I mean, you have to take PPE seriously because like the materials and the chemicals and the lasers, like it can be dangerous to do science experiments, even stuff like this. But like no one's stopping you. You're allowed to do it, but no one is going to take your results seriously in any way if you don't read the literature and know what's been done before. If you don't look at tables of minerals and realize the copper sulfide is a conductor that's been known since the 1830s, nearly 200 years ago. Why would anyone need to look at your paper when you haven't even read a high school chemistry textbook? That's not gatekeeping. Look at the story we're in right now. I said every single scientist could clock this as not worth their time because this person obviously doesn't know what they're doing. And you could say, well, you're gatekeeping. You just think you're so fancy because you know basic chemistry. And like, yeah, I don't have to look at this. Let me tell you something crazy. Scientists are actually autonomous beings with free will. And they don't have to look at a paper just because someone wrote it and slapped it up on the archive. They can use their brains and their history and background and research and their experience touching chemicals and living in physics, and they can say, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I am not going to waste my time reading it. Again, that's not gatekeeping. That's just being a human person with interests and goals. In real life, I think this is a fascinating little story, and it's a nice little package of like, someone suggested this idea, the most brilliant scientists from the best labs and the best theory departments from all across the world in this field immediately poked a million holes in it, and they were like, told ya, great, that's fantastic. That's how science works. But should it? Guys, do you realize that for 2 weeks, the best physicists and theorists in condensed matter and chemical structure and material science stopped the real research they were doing?
Oh my god. Oh my god! No! Oh my god! No! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Theorists in condensed matter and chemical structure and material science stopped the real research they were doing to disprove a Twitter hype thread thing. Like, the mind boggles how much that would cost. Like, all of these people are experts. They have decades and decades of experience. How much would you have had to pay Professor Jane from Urbana-Champaign to look at your paper and be like, oh, I recognize that temperature? Thousands of dollars. The man is an expert. All of that knowledge is up here. He has worked in this field for decades and decades. And all of those people across the world paused what they were doing to look at a crackpot garbage paper they all knew was garbage from the jump. That sucks. That's a sad story. What a waste of time. What have we lost in the world? Because they did that. Everyone lost 2 weeks of condensed matter research, guys. Everyone, all of us, we lost it so they could look at this paper because this guy on Twitter was like, it looks promising. This is the most important day of our lives, guys. And these people who call scientists gatekeepers, I'm so curious. Like, do you expect them to do that? Is that what you want? Every single time a crackpot paper makes it through the archive crackpot filter, which is like a lot, do you expect them to pause what they're doing, the research we're all paying for with our tax dollars and also other countries paying for with their tax dollars? Do you want them to stop and be like, all right, I know it looks like this guy doesn't know basic algebra, but it's our duty as scientists to investigate. You never know. Like, no, that's insane. That's bonkers. This was a colossal waste of time. This is just, if we made the smartest people in the world do a basic chemistry, I mean, I'm sure they have fun. It seems like it was fun. But like, what a waste of time. This sucks. Like, do you actually think if we test enough random crackpot papers without increment, eventually we'll just stumble upon a room temperature superconductor? And do you think that's better than the way it's done now? Listen, if room temperature superconductors just existed, Fox would have found one in the Cotswold mines in 1830, okay? It's just, I can't take these people seriously. They're saying things that don't make sense, which brings me to my next question, because why? This whole story, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Why were they so excited in the first place? Okay, so season 9, episode 7 of the TV show Seinfeld is called The Slicer. I know, and I agree with the fact that Jerry Seinfeld is an evil monster. I know that, I get that, and yet, this 30-year-old reference is the only way I can explain the conundrum I find myself in. That's on me. And I will have to unpack that for myself at some later date, maybe in the style of Comedy Without Errors and some sort of 10-hour documentary on the life and times of evil man Jerry Seinfeld. But in this episode, Jerry is dating a doctor, and because he's a bad person, that's the plot of the show actually, that he sucks. He is annoyed that she takes pride in herself and her work and celebrates the fact that she is a medical doctor doing medical doctor things. He's like, she's a dermatologist. It's not like she's doing ER emergency surgery. And then George, also a terrible person, convinces him to go on one more date with her where he makes fun of her to help her realize like she's an idiot. She's not saving lives. I think he calls her Dr. Pimple Popper. And after Jerry goes on this big tirade, a man comes up and he's like, oh, I'm so excited to see you, doctor. You saved my life, because he had skin cancer. Because she treats skin cancer, because Jerry in the show forgot that skin cancer existed. And that's how I feel right now. What is the skin cancer for room temperature superconductors? What did they actually think was going to happen? Why were they so excited? Did they actually think, like, oh, some Korean team invented a room temperature superconductor. 12 weeks later, a man dressed like Mario is going to knock on your door and be like, hey, so we're going to replace all the copper wiring in your house with this new room temp superconductor material. It's going to cost $900,000, but you'll get free power. Like, is that what you're excited? It doesn't make any sense. Why are you excited? Why? Do you envision an actionable difference in your life in the short term because a room temperature superconductor exists? Am I being a weirdo right now? Am I wrong to be curious why these people got so hyped up for materials? I consider myself a science positive person. I understand how superconductors are used right now. I understand how a room temperature superconductor would make a lot of things like that easier. I don't envision any material that has to be manufactured that is new will ever replace fucking copper, which we've used for thousands of years, and it's just in the ground. Like, what did they think was gonna happen? Let's read Alex Kaplan's tweet again. Today might have seen the biggest physics discovery of my lifetime. I don't think people fully grasp the implications of ambient temperature pressure superconductors. Here's how it could totally change our lives. 1 billion kilowatt of electricity are wasted on transmission losses each year in the US alone. That's equivalent of 3 of our largest nuclear reactors running 24/7. Superconductivity enables lossless electricity transmission at high voltages and currents. According to the authors, LK99 material can be prepared in about 34 hours in an extremely basic lab. Nuclear fusion reactors rely on superconductors. Quantum computers use superconductors. Superconductors might be the best batteries out there. It's totally feasible. Your iPhone won't overheat when you play Subway Surfers with your YouTube video in the corner anymore. Here's a picture of the utopia. It's basically this. I cannot contain my excitement. Listen, I am not a professional manufacturer. There are engineers that design products. There are engineers that test products for like stress tests and longevity tests and temperature tests, There are companies that have to develop manufacturing lead times and factory times and like how you go based on like people and machines moving things from like here it is in the lab to here it is in an iPhone so you can play Subway Surfers. And I just don't imagine that happening in under a decade. Am I ignorant of something? These people are literally like, guys, the Koreans made this, which means next year we all have maglev trains and AI is real because we have room temperature quantum computers on our desks. Like, that's nonsense. The words they are saying are total science fiction. It doesn't make sense. Why? Why were they excited about this? Did they believe that? Did they believe it? And also, I live in the world. The government won't even let us have regular trains. You think they're suddenly going to build a bunch of magnet trains because it's physically possible? No, no, I don't think so. Do you think the power companies, which, you know, burn the earth, are going to be like, oh, this is going to save our customers so much money. Can't wait to have lossless power. Surely we'll
Oh my god.
transfer some of that savings to the people paying. No. And again, in this instance, the paper they're so hyped about, this team has been working on this material for 25 years, and they're like, it's so easy to manufacture. It's crazy. It's going to change everything. And it's like, is it? Because why is it taking you 25 years? That doesn't make sense. It's just, this doesn't make sense to be excited about. It's like advertising that you are a mark for scams. When you say things like, guys, infinite power is happening, I don't get it. People are posting memes like this, and they're like excited. Like, guys, climate change is so over because we have LK99, and I just, renewable, have you been following the evolution of renewable technology and battery technology in the last 20 years? Like we have infinite power. We could get rid of our reliance on coal plants today if the government would make that happen. If you are excited about LK99, I would ask, do you have solar panels in your home? Because people with solar panels are paying like $8 a month for AC.
Oh my god.
We already have this. Are you as excited about solar power? I don't even know how to phrase this question because it does make me feel like a crazy person. Why are you excited? Like, what about this gives you this? How?
I guess okay, you're saying, I think these people got excited and went to the extent that they did because it was a popular thing in the community, and this is basically a trend to them. Like, obviously they know it's not possible, but it's like, that excited people about topics like this, obviously they're gonna jump the bandwagon. I think the problem that Angela has is that the paper and the way that the information was presented was so not like anyone you would take seriously, and the fact that it was debunked in 2 weeks by actual reputable scientists, when you had people that like read it and and digested it, and you had actual scientists that were like, oh, this is silly, but people were so excited anyway. I guess she's wondering why it generated so much hype despite the fact that it just wasn't it wasn't very strong from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think is what she's saying.
Or are you envisioning that transition that makes you the most excited you've ever been, Alex Kaplan? Explain to me. Explain it. Explain this to me. How do you go from this to this? I don't get it.
And plus what she's saying is true too. Like, even if what they are saying did exist, how would you get it into the average person's, like, it would take a very long time for this to be implemented into like your house, and like it would be like very difficult to get this from this concept to you. Like, it would take an extremely long time, and it probably would have a whole bunch of bullshit with the government and paying for it anyway. So, like, yeah.
If you remember, I showed you that 1986 paper that won the two guys the Nobel Prize in Physics.
God.
From their Nobel speech, I would love to read to you. Since the publication on the existence of this new class of materials, the interest and work have far exceeded the expectations of the laureates, whose aim was to primarily show that oxides could do better in superconductivity than metals and alloys. Due to this frenzy, progress on the experimental side has been rapid and is expected to continue. This will also assist in finding new compounds with TCs reaching at least 130 Kelvin. Quantitative theoretical models are expected in the not-too-distant future, first perhaps phenomenological ones. On this rapidly growing tree of research, separate branches are becoming strong, such as glassy aspects, growth techniques for single crystals, epitaxial films, and preparation of ceramics, the latter two being of crucial importance for applications. The former will dominate the small current microelectronics field, while the latter will have to be mastered in the large current field. Here, the hopes are for energy transport in large magnetic field applications, for example, in beam bending and accelerators and plasma containment and fusion. See, that, I feel, is a very realistic, short-term excitement about giant scientific breakthroughs. What they just said would be very similar. Like, all of that did happen, But I mean, once you have a room temperature superconductor, you get to do it all again. It's very exciting.
I think what this is also saying too is the fact that it generated so much hype in the first place when it was so questionable from the get-go, right? Means that people aren't taking in information properly, and that's a problem because misinformation and disinformation is such a rampant thing on the internet. That's kind of like the thing that's going on with the cheating community. Have you seen that sheet video that I posted in Star World chat, and how it's actually getting it's starting a bit of a drama right now actually because of it. But like part of the internet experience is somebody will say something or put something out there that seems kind of like reputable-ish or whatever, and people will make like ginormous claims or whatever, and then people will like kind of LARP onto it and maybe not read it and kind of depend on other people to signal boost that thing or summarize it because they're not going to read it themselves. We've all done it, right? And so what she's saying, like, the problem is when you have stuff like that, you kind of give people false hope with this kind of thing, and there could potentially be other avenues of research that do actually deserve that kind of hype, but are much more boring. Like, a lot of scientific advancements aren't like big bombastic bombshells that change the world. A lot of them are like really small incremental tiny things that down the line just expand the sphere of knowledge very slightly. It's very rare that you have something that's like such a big deal that it like fucking changes everything at this point, right? It can happen, but it's you have to have a lot of scrutiny for that kind of thing. So I guess it's good for people to be excited, but I think what she's saying is that you should be excited about like the right thing, which would require very basic levels of being able to discern information. Is what she's saying, I think.
This is the short-term excitement, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about, oh, look at all the new science coming out. Oh, look at how they're going to change how they grow crystals.
Yeah,
That's
the
very
sheet mirror,
exciting. All of that is not infinite abundance, Star Trek, Kardashev. Guys, get it? Like, where are they getting this? And do they believe that? Science is incremental, actually. You have a room temperature superconductor, you would have a boom of interest in scientists studying it. I bet there would be a bunch of grant money put towards it in the short term.
Yeah.
And they would probably be studying its properties, trying to improve how it acts with like high voltages, because also there's a whole lot of science information I am not telling you just because this is already a very long video, but room temperature superconductors cannot just be like put in your cell phone circuit. That's not, you would have to you get it. I'm sure there are different videos going into detail on that. But there would be really short-term improvements in like MRI technology and nuclear reactor technology, right? I imagine if room temperature superconductors existed, MRI machines would be cheaper because you wouldn't have to cool them. Do you know what I mean? So maybe more people could get MRIs, and maybe more people getting MRIs would lead to like breakthroughs in medicine.
Yes.
And someone 30 years from now doing this job could make a video that was like, hey guys, you can trace this cure for pediatric brain tumors all the way back to room temperature superconductors, right? I believe that that's the type of thing that would happen, and I'm excited about that, but that doesn't make me get up at 3 a.m. to check Twitter feeds. You know? Am I just a buzzkill? So, like I said at the jump, if you're making videos on the internet and do you want to get like an algorithm bump, an SEO boost, you have to talk about what the people are talking about, right? So if you make science videos on the internet, you probably, in the summer of 2023, made a video that looks a lot like this.
New research on a room temperature superconductor has the scientific community in a buzz, and for good reason. This will be one of the greatest breakthroughs in the history of physics. We're talking instant Nobel Prizes for the people involved.
So this guy is called 2-Bit Da Vinci, and I think that that's funny. He has 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he has a video that came out July 29th, 2023, and it is called Superconductor Breakthrough, Why It Matters, all caps. And this video has nearly 2 million views, and it's about 22 minutes long. How long is the video we're in right now? Have we reached an hour yet? Surely my time is being well spent making this video about a science story nobody cares about anymore.
It's fine. It's so fine. He starts out with like, you gotta be skeptical, guys.
And the bigger the claim, the more we have to be skeptical. So what's really going on? Is it really legitimate? And what could this mean? Let's figure this out together. I'm Ricky.
He talks about the very similar breakthrough in 2020, which we've already talked about. That one was different. That guy got published in Nature. The physics community freaked out because you shouldn't get published if you faked your data, and his data was not replicable. So that was a bigger deal. If you ask a physicist about that room temperature superconductor story, they're going to think of that one first. Okay, so he brings that up in the video, and he's like, see, you got to be skeptical because of stuff like this. And it's like, yeah, but this happens every 3 months on the archive, man. Whatever. Anyway, he makes the same video I just did, where he's like, here's what it.
That's another thing too. If it's something that happens frequently where people just kind of make shit up or make like outlandish like claims or whatever because they're trying to be the next like, because this is a very lucrative thing too, by the way. Like, it's not like a very altruistic thing at all times. People, you want to be that a lot of people want to be that researcher. You want to be that lead scientist that make that next breakthrough because you get so much money, you get so much funding. Like, you get so much benefit for being that person that finally figured it out that a lot of people jump the gun to make these kind of claims or put these kind of papers out, right? Which is why it's really important that you scrutinize these things and don't generate false hype because, like, well, one, you know, why generate false hype in people for things that don't like, exist, right? And it's like, it's more disrespectful, I feel like, to the people that are putting in the time to be extremely considerate and like careful with this kind of stuff, right? And not haphazardly put their information, like their paper, on a Google Doc and not like go through the process of getting it like published by a real scientific publisher, right? So it just kind of feels like, you know, if this was like a much more authentic, legitimate sort of way to get there, then yeah. But it kind of feels like, with the way that it's being perceived and stuff, that these people kind of jumped the gun and generated a lot of hype for something that they didn't have confidence was even a thing. You know what I mean? Because the results of their research weren't reproducible. What's the point of what's the point? Like, if you can't reproduce the results, then you can't.
The conductor is. Here's what a super.
You can't do anything with that. I'm not saying like it's good. It's good to be ambitious and it's good to have like you know, it's fine. But the way it was executed, I think, is what Angela has the biggest problem with, because it was just so ridiculous from the outset, right? Like, why? How did it even get that far? You know what I mean?
He does something I would not do, which is that he reports on the words in the LK99 paper as if they know what they're doing or they know what they're talking about.
But LK99 can work as high as 400 degrees Kelvin. That's 260 degrees Fahrenheit or 127 degrees Celsius. One thing I found interesting about this paper is that it explains superconductivity in a different way, yet it still works for other superconductors.
To me, when you do that, when you present a paper like this as if it is truth, it makes it seem like you were fooled by it and you didn't immediately clock it as nonsense. Do you believe what is written in this paper? Because I feel like it's worrisome that you do science communication if you saw this and you were like, wow, they're going to completely upend superconductor theory. That's not great. Then about 11 minutes in, he says this.
I honestly think this will spark a new wave of research, and before long, we'll have tens, if not hundreds, of new ambient superconductors for all sorts of applications.
And then he goes on to just talk about the plots, not mentioning that they're awful plots. As if also he didn't just say, guys, the world is going to be completely different in 4 months because of this paper. And then I think what's really funny about this video is around 15 minutes in, he plays the footage of the little magnet thing bouncing around, and he doesn't seem convinced. He's like, I'll let you be the judge.
And you can see that there is definitely something pushing up. But is it floating? I'll let you be the judge of that.
And it's like, okay, but 4 minutes ago you said the world would completely change, and then you see this and you're like, I don't know about that. So which is it? What is like this like this video is like, you gotta be skeptical. I believe this will change everything. They're gonna upend superconductor theory. And then it's like, but this magnet's not very convincing. And it's like, which is it, bro? Are you trying to educate, or are you just informing people of your opinions? What is this? And then he goes into the ingredients, which I think it's one of just the reasons people were so excited, which he also says in this video, is that the ingredients are easy to come by. According to the LK99 paper, it's easy to make in the lab, which is why a bunch of Twitter bros were able to do it. But the thing is like, that is not a reason to be excited, in my opinion. Like, yeah, if a room temperature superconductor was easy to make, that would be exciting. But from this paper, you know they've been working on this for 25 years. There's no way it's easier for them to make. They can't do it within a quarter of a century. Like to me, pointing out how easy the ingredients are to find points to it being fake rather than a reason to be excited. Do you know what I mean? And then he says something which is very similar to all the Reddit threads.
Things we just don't know yet. But if these guys' claims are legit, which they seem to be, we'll know very soon.
Sir, what makes you think they seem to be legit? This video is July 29th, 7 days before the full 9 days. 9 days before the full debunk. I am asking you, as a professional science communicator, what you saw in this paper that made you think it was legit. Who says that? Are you talking about these theory papers that came out? Because if you read those, you would see that those did not confirm in any way that this was a room temperature superconductor. So why are you saying that? Where did people get this? Everyone was like, you guys, there's replications already. Everyone's excited. No one was excited.
Where are they? Wait.
I don't understand. And then he goes back to doing the video we're in now, where he's like, trains and MRIs and nuclear reactors, Almost like he read Alex Kaplan's tweets.
Oh my god.
One of the most exciting papers I've read in recent memory.
Are you being for real, dude? Is this the only physics paper you've read recently? This is one of the most exciting? That is a damning statement to make. That is shocking that someone would say that after reading this paper. And this is kind of the issue with science communication at the moment. For me, personally, in my opinion. Like, you watch this video, he's like, you gotta be skeptical. But this is fucking amazing! Everything's gonna change in 4 months. This is the most exciting paper I've ever seen. And it's like, which is it? What do you mean? Are you intending to educate or inform? Because if you were educated on this topic, you would have clocked this as nonsense immediately. Or are you making a video to get an algorithm push because you know this is going to give you like 2 million views?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying, right? Like if it's real and if it's authentic and you have confidence in it, then go for it. But if you're just trying to like generate hype, well then you just made that up. You just made that up. You can't just lie. You can't just lie. I mean, what the heck?
The people claiming to like educate and inform on the internet don't know anything more than the Twitter boys. That's bad, right? So this channel did a follow-up in November of 2025. He spends the first few minutes of this video trying to answer the question I'm trying to answer in this video right now. Why did this happen?
We covered it and millions of you watched, but the scientific community came together and LK99 wasn't it. So why did LK99 go supernova viral? Well,
never once in this video does he analyze his role in this. Like, sir, you're in a video right now that has 60,000 views saying, I wonder why this got so much hype. That was crazy, right? And in it, you reference the video you filmed years prior that has 2 million views where you're like, this is the most exciting physics paper I've ever read in my life. What a question.
Yeah, come on, whoever did this, just confess. We promise we won't be mad.
And then he goes through the debunk we just did together. Same video, it's so fine. And then he talks about how something exciting about AI is going to be how it changes material science. And he's referring to like actual scientific machine learning tools, not like garbage chat boxes. Like that's a real thing. I just think it's weird that never once does he claim a little responsibility for the incorrect hype. Like never once did he say, man, I probably shouldn't say this is the most exciting time ever to be in physics, and I totally believe that the world is going to change over the next 4 months because this paper exists. Like, he never says that. He's just like, well, that was weird, huh? What a weird time. The closest he gets.
So that story was a bit of a bummer, to be honest. But as an engineer, I am an optimist, and I found that there are plenty of reasons to be excited. I remember how excited I was during this whole time. I had friends emailing me, telling me you're going to cover this in a video. It was one of those things that took the world by storm.
The closest he gets to claiming any sort of responsibility is saying, I remember being very excited. And were you excited? That's my question. Like, were you tricked by this paper? Did you see this nonsense paper and be like, wow, they're gonna upend superconductor theory? Or were you excited because you saw people talking about science and you were like doing the math on how many dollars 2 million views is? I've never gotten 2 million, I don't know. I know that the algorithm pushes hype. Like, people like videos where you're like, the world is changing, this is the best thing ever, way more than they like videos like this. This is a real bummer, right? But what are you adding to the
It is a bummer, right?
world if this is your science communication? Briefly tricking people that the world is going to change, that a Korean group has made a room temperature superconductor, even though I'm sure you knew that this was garbage, which if you didn't, that's a different conversation we could have. I'd like to highlight another pop science article. So this is on Vox. It's called Why a Room Temperature Conductor Would Be a Huge Deal by Dylan Matthews. Published August 7th, 2023. Cutting it real close to a full-on debunk. That's very funny. And there are just like a couple of things to highlight. It says, for the past several days, I've been frantically reloading Twitter accounts to try to learn as much as possible about LK99, the purported room temperature ambient pressure superconductor. This is maybe a week after I learned what a superconductor is or why it matters that it's at room temperature or ambient pressure. He's very excited. He's constantly refreshing Twitter discourse, and he learned what a superconductor was a week ago, so of course, this is the person you should get to write an article on it. This is way more common than you think.
Now, unfortunately, I dropped out of Physics 11 after just one class, so I'm not here to confirm or deny whether LK99 is real or not, but I do know what it would mean for the planet.
In this version of article and video and Twitter thread, it is so common for someone to be like, so I failed physics, but let me tell you why this is important. And it's like, maybe we should ask a different person. I guess it's fine. People can talk about what they want to talk about, whatever. And I mean, it is good that you say your background in physics before, so we can use that to kind of calibrate how much we're willing to listen to you. Dylan Matthews goes on to do the same thing we just did, you know? This is a conductor, this is a superconductor, MRIs, trains, reactors, you know, the whole thing. Everything is the same. It's the same content over and over. That's a different video. Okay, and then he gets to the it's so over, we're so back, and he says this. So, a room temperature superconductor would be very cool if real. You gotta be skeptical, guys. That was the obvious question. Is LK99, the purported superconductor, real? The short answer is, I don't know, and neither does anybody else. He says, I don't know. That's probably true.
And neither does anybody else.
That's bullshit, my dude. Every single scientist who looked at this on July 23rd was like, no. We all knew. What do you mean? He talks about how the best evidence so far that LK99 is a room temperature superconductor is Mic Drop Lady's paper. So, you know, she knew what she was doing. She still hasn't...
That's another thing, too. The mic drop? What?
Deleted this tweet. Cringe into my bones, may it never be me. I really liked in this article a quote from a Professor Lilia Boeri from Sapienza University of Rome. She says, I don't know why this report attracted so much attention. There are always periodic reports like this. This is completely strange, some kind of viral story. So, Dylan Matthews, a professional reporter and journalist, contacted an expert. She says, I don't know why this is getting so much attention. This is not a thing. And then he says in his own article, the short answer is, I don't know, and neither does anybody else. Bro, you asked an expert and she told you. What do you mean? You know for a fact somebody knows. Dr. Lilia Boeri from Rome told you. What? That quote from her is like 2 paragraphs above you saying, nobody knows, I guess. Bro, you typed that in. Presumably you used your fingers to type her saying, I know that it's not anything. What? I just think this Vox article is very interesting because is this journalism? You know, question mark. Is this science journalism? Dylan Matthews is a famous journalist. He started Vox Media in like 2014 with these people. He's since left, so he's got that going for him. And his first ever article on Vox was about a scientific research study which later turned out to be fraud. It was whether or not people would support gay marriage, and they were testing, well, they didn't do it. It was a scam. They said they were sending canvassers who were like supposed to play as obviously gay, and their results, specific survey, no one did it, were that if the canvasser was obviously gay, the people were more likely to be pro-gay marriage. It was nonsense, it was garbage, it was bunk. And 13 months after he wrote that article, he published like an oopsie doodles. He was like, I should have caught this. It was immediately caught by a lot of people. I need to do better. And I quote, says this, but it should serve as a reminder, both to people like me who report on studies and to the readers we're trying to serve. Wait, is that a typo? Is there a typo in this article from 2014? It says, but it should serve as a reminder both to people like me who report on studies and to the readers it's supposed to be we're trying to serve, that pinning your hopes on one study is a foolish proposition. To quote Dylan Matthews of Vox, pinning your hopes on one study is a foolish proposition. And nearly a decade later, a professional Italian physicist lady is like, dude, this is nothing. And Dylan Matthews publishes an article where he's like, nobody knows. This is exciting. What an exciting time to be in physics. Like, dude, how did you not learn this lesson? These people are not even learning from the public humiliations. Like, I know that they have to publish whatever. Like I said, the algorithm will reward you for having a positive story about physics hype, so you have to write it that way, so the Twitter bros will click. I get that. But aren't you a little embarrassed? Like, is this embarrassing? I would be embarrassed. I don't know. By the way, just for fun, if you go to Dylan Matthews' Substack right now, there is an article published in April of 2026. An article, an essay. What is Substack? I don't know what Substack is. Anyway, it's called The AI People Have Been Right a Lot. And it's another
Oh.
oopsie doodle where he is commenting on an article he wrote for Vox years ago, where he says, 11 years onward, it is extremely, extremely obvious that I was wrong. This man is constantly interviewing experts, ignoring them, publishing an article with his opinion, and then a decade later being like, man, I was really wrong. If you're gonna ignore the expert, why even reference them in the article at all? How many oopsie doodles do you publish before you think, hey, maybe this is not the career for me? Like, I have not seen his oopsie doodle paper for the LK99 article, but surely it's coming on his Substack. How does Substack work? Are people like paying for it? Like, what is that? And also, is this journalism? Does this count as journalism? To ask an Italian physicist, like, what do you think? And she's like, no. And then you're like, nobody knows. Like, is that what science journalism, is that where we're at? Is that what we're doing? I would like to be fair and say that I do think it takes guts to publish like a retraction or an apology or like an I was wrong post. And Dylan Matthews, he does seem very comfortable with it because he does it a lot. I don't think this is the only thing. Like, yeah, a lot of online physics guys are actually just conspiracy theorists who don't understand physics. And there was a lot of hype from science journalists who were like, guys, be cautious, but it couldn't hurt to be excited. All of that combined lead to this viral moment. You know, a moment where enough people are talking about this that because of the way algorithms work, everyone has to see it. That's not enough, right? Something smells fishy here. Something stinks. And it stinks of stonk. So I went on a website and it had an article titled Stonk Explained. And the definition of stonk is internet slang for stocks, used humorously to describe irrational bullish behavior, financial ignorance, or the absurdity of speculative markets, also used earnestly and without irony as a casual synonym for stocks or crypto
Without
assets.
irony.
Listen, I'm old. I'm not on the internet. I mean, like, literally right now I am on the internet, but like, I don't know what a stonk is. When I'm saying it stinks of stonk, I mean like that whole vibe. I'm saying that this LK99 thing feels like the GameStop thing. It feels like LinkedIn bros AI maxing their code production. It feels like NFTs, you know? Just another stream of nonsense that means absolutely nothing, that people get super hyped about and makes 4 guys just like super wealthy. It's just, do you know what I mean? It's nonsense. Remember this quote from Andrew Cote? He ends it with, "This is insanely bullish for humanity." Well, first of all, he incorrectly reads a paper and assumes that the model produced for the paper is replicating LK99 somehow, which we can't fault him for because of this. But at the end, he notes that, oh, it's going to be super hard to produce. And like the chance of making it is very rare because of the energy required. And then he's like, this is bullish for humanity. Like, what the fuck does that mean? That's nonsense. That is a word said by a man who knows nothing, and it means nothing. This is bullish for humanity. You can't talk like that. The internet was a mistake. But also, he summarizes the paper saying, this is an interesting material, but incredibly difficult to synthesize at scale. And then he says, this is bullish for humanity. Like, what does it mean? That doesn't sound very bullish. Do you know what bullish means? I want to read Alex Kaplan's tweets again.
Oh my god, no.
We've read them. We remember them. I'm just saying, this way of speaking, this like utopia, this abundance, Star Trek, Kardashev, it's like AI tech bro nonsense. These are not serious people. By the way, anyone watching, if you're like a respected Wikipedia editor, please take the whole Kardashev scale thing out of the engineering portal. This is futurism nonsense. This is not science. I mean, yeah, you can publish science. A Type 2 civilization can directly consume stars' energy, most likely through the use of a Dyson sphere.
Oh my
Most
god,
likely through the
Angela!
use of it. Never in the world of the history of the future will Dyson sphere be the most likely use of anything. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. But that's who these people are. That is who got excited about room temperature superconductor. Look, see, here's the proof. That is the guy who was excited. That guy. Anyway, I'd like to talk about Alex Kaplan like a little bit more because he's the guy responsible for all this. He is the reason
Almost done.
like his tweet went viral. He is the reason every condensed matter physicist took 2 weeks off of their work. He should pay them money for that. The thing is about this guy, he's not a dum-dum. I think I've referenced this interview before. I watched an hour-long video with a crypto host, so like and subscribe, I guess, because that sucked. But this guy definitely did his research. When asked questions about superconductors, he was able to answer them. This guy is not dumb.
Maybe educate me a little bit on why is it so difficult to replicate this material?
Yeah, so in order to fully understand it, I think it's interesting to talk a little bit about the chemistry and physics of crystals. So indulge me for a second or so. Any material with a regularly structured lattice of atoms is called a crystal in physics. And crystals have interesting properties in that they can share electrons between atoms. Electrons can flow in different paths in the crystals, and when you're making them, either default by chemistry by what's most energetically favorable.
And in this interview from the Princeton undergrad paper, he says he first learned about superconductors in a freshman level physics seminar, which means that when the 2020 thing happened, he was aware of it, as he does tweet about. So isn't Alex Kaplan aware of how often these room temperature superconductor papers appear on the archive? He's already lived through one giant hoax. Surely he clocked this immediately as nonsense, and if he didn't, perhaps physics department at Princeton should take his BS degree away, because really, dude, I think you knew this was garbage. He said, let me quote it, "Today might have seen the greatest physics discovery of my lifetime." You know physics, Alex Kaplan. I saw you talking about it. So did you fall for this? Did you fall for this? It doesn't make sense. How did you get scammed by this? Hey, this is unrelated, but it's kind of fun. In July of 2023, which is like interesting because it's the same month the LK99 paper came out, Twitter started paying creators. Sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. So, is this a conspiracy theory? I think Alex Kaplan, a man who understands physics, had a financial interest in making a viral Twitter thread. In the interview,
like I still think this was one of the most like absolutely devastating things for Twitter when they started paying you to be a fucking liar. Oh my god! How could they do that? Oh my god, how could they do that? It was so bad. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Like when Twitter, like when Elon was a fucking idiot and was like, made you like, and you just had liars, 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 liars. Just so many fucking liars. It's so. Woo!
The importance of this thing. You know, if there's a chance it's real, which I'll say publicly kind of for the first time, I would put it around 10% or something. Like, I don't think it's going to turn out, but there is a chance it's real. This would be like the most important physics discovery of our lifetime.
And where he's like, oh, I don't think it's actually, it's probably 10%. Like, don't get too excited. But if it's real, holy shit. All the while, he's producing viral tweets that are putting money directly in his pocket. Here's a tweet from August 3rd, 6 days before debunk. And he just posts a screenshot of the archive for superconductivity. And he's like, if you think we're talking about it on Twitter, you should see the archive. And it's like, bro, I know you know that there are hundreds of papers posted to the physics archive every month. What else do you think they're going to talk about? It's a very large subfield of physics. You know that. He got 3.8 million views for this one posted July 31st. We're so back, and that's after. Oh, that reminds me. So Professor Dr. Mike Drop Lady posted this, and it got 6.2 million views. And is that why she hasn't deleted it? Because I hate looking at it. Reddit kind of calls it. There's someone posted one of the Andrew Cote tweets, and this comment says, in our physics, the sticky post on LK99 has the disclaimer, posting links to sensationalized or monetized Twitter threads here, including but not limited to Kaplan coat for Dawn, etc., will get you banned. Are folks getting paid for driving traffic to Twitter by pumping up bullshit? If so, it will make it a lot more difficult to trust anything from Twitter. Not that it was trustworthy in the first place, but this would make it so much worse. And in response, this guy nails it. I don't think Cote's motivation is anything more sinister than raising his follower count. It's just that hype about LK99 gets a lot more attention than negativity, so these science translators become hype men. And that's the same thing you're seeing with the SciComm people.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, and that's the thing. When you generate false hype, that's not just like somebody getting paid for that. And what if that person is just fucking lying? Like, what if you really? That's like people fucking becoming like really popular artists or like video makers that have a whole bunch of subscribers or whatever from fucking AI generated videos and art. Like, no, you didn't.
You make money from views. You get more views if you basically lie about the odds of something being successful, which sucks. This sucks. I don't like that this is the reason. I know a lot of scientists are like, well, overall it's good. People were talking about science. And
yes.
It's like, no. People were hyping up science so that they could get 6 million views and make $10,000. And people were responding and retweeting because if they get just 100,000 views, then they get $1,000. And people were responding and retweeting to those because if they get 1,000 views, they're going to get like $6. And that is no way to do science. It sucks so much. And you can see this like go out into like, again, I'm just calling it GameStop stonk shit. I don't know what it is, like this poly market bullshit. How are you betting on the odds that this is a room temperature superconductor? What does that even mean? Every single scientist would tell you no right away. Like, how is there a betting market on this? And how was it ever at 70%
poly market? No. It's at 70%? Oh my god, but that's so stupid. You could have made a killing. Poly market is this bullshit where you could just make like bets about random fucking things and steal people's money, basically. So it was at 70%? Oh my god. Oh my god. Really? No.
Makes no sense. This is stupid. It is stupid. It doesn't make sense. I'm sitting here like an asshole, worried how this event will affect SciComm and like future generations of voters and how they understand how science funding is allotted. And these assholes don't give a shit. They will say whatever to make money. If it's NFTs, if it's stocks, if it's LK99, like they have no values and no personal interests. This sucks. It sucks so bad. It's all just vibe hype garbage, you guys. Doesn't that suck? There is a version of this story where perhaps maybe I'm overanalyzing.
Let people have fun, Angela, damn. Okay, let's listen to this.
It's all just vibe hype garbage, you guys. Doesn't that suck? There is a version of this story where perhaps maybe I'm overanalyzing this, and maybe it's not that deep, and maybe people were just having fun. Maybe for one brief shining moment, some dude got to set an alarm for 3 a.m., rush a time, and scroll an update to see if the cat girl had recreated the picture or whatever, and he was just having fun. And should we just let people have fun? I mean, I don't understand how that's fun. I think real science is fun, actually. But, like, maybe I'm kind of just being a bummer. I think it's wasteful that the world's greatest minds had to pause what they were doing to debunk kindergarten shit. I think that's net negative. I think that's bad. But I mean, maybe people just wanted to have a good time, and maybe I should just let them. I don't know. I don't understand why this is fun. Maybe if you're not doing conspiracy physics shit to make yourself feel smarter, or you're not pretending it's so exciting and so hype so you can get clicks and money, if you're just like some dude, maybe it's kind of fun. I mean, there were some memes. Maybe I'm being a bummer. Oh shit, I can't end this video without mentioning the cult. The cult of LK99. You guys, this story doesn't make any fucking sense. What did these people have to gain by putting this paper up on the archive when everyone can tell it's bullshit from miles away? This was never going to be an accepted journal article. They were never going to submit this. This is nonsense. Why was this published? I even told you this story. There were 2 versions of this paper submitted. The first paper was 3 authors, Lee, Kim, and Kwon, July 22nd, 2023. 2.5 hours later, a second paper with 6 authors, but no Kwon. Why did they take Kwon off? It turns out Kwon had left the group. There was a bunch of infighting, and he was like, they're never going to publish this shit. Which, I mean, he was right to think that because it's been 25 years, my dude. It's never happening. So he just went fucking rogue, and he put it up. And then they had to scramble. They had to respond. So they quickly threw together like a real paper, which admittedly looks a little bit better, but it's not a, it's just as that it's not a room temperature superconductor, my dudes. So there was infighting in the group. But why? The Twitter people, they were writing fan fiction about this story.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh my god. Fan fiction?
This happened within 2 weeks. Are you guys remembering this? This guy, he wrote this giant thing about how Lee and Kim were grad students together, which is true, and they worked very closely with their Professor Troy, which is true, and Professor Troy had a kind of little wackadoo idea about condensed matter theory, which is also true. No one accepted it. It wasn't good. Also true. And in the fan fiction, Professor Troy is on his deathbed, and he's telling Lee and Kim, like, keep it secret, keep it safe, which in the fan fiction explains why they haven't done anything with it for 25 years. It's so stupid. It's so bunk. But there's got to be something there. Why have they been working on this for 25 years? How are they affording to hire people? Dude, the machines they're using that they say they use to make these plots are like $500,000 range. Like, is there a lab? Is there a lab somewhere that's letting them use the space? Like, I mean, it says they have a company. It says they got some funding, but like, how can you get this much funding and produce this? Like, this is nonsense. This whole story makes no sense. There is something going on, and I can't explain why they would do this. Like, this is a career-ending mistake. But the thing is that they're still believers. Well, at least Kim is still a believer. He's still posting on Reddit, like, once a week. He's going to APS conferences and giving talks. You know that you can just do that. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to get accepted to a conference. Although he is pretending you have to get accepted. He's like, I've been invited to this kind. And it's like, no, bro. If you have $1,800, APS is gonna let you go give a talk. He's paying vanity journals to publish book chapters with the same material, saying, oh no, this is a room temperature superconductor. And for a while on the subreddit, people were like, oh, we're so back. But it's still the same. It's been 3 years and he's still just it's the same. What do you call that when people just do the same thing for 25 years? Like, the thing about LK99 is that this whole story could have happened with any of the many, many, many room temperature superconductor papers that people are shoving onto like the internet, right? There are so many, but it just happened to coincide with like Twitter wanting to pay people, people having like a really shitty summer and wanting to feel hope, and Alex Kaplan tweeting randomly like, guys, this is so exciting. Like, he could have chosen any of the many crackpot papers. Why did he chose this one with this very weird group? What is going on with this group? He's still posting. I just find it so interesting that this is the paper that went viral when it's got this crazy story in it, but also it was so incredibly easy to debunk. Like, they just have copper mixed with sulfur. You can buy that at Menards, and if you do, you should ship it to the White House so they can clean the reflecting pool.
Oh.
How dated is that joke by the time this video comes out? Who knows?
Can you believe that was a thing? What the fuck? Where am I going? Oh, I don't have this yet. I don't have this yet? What the fuck? Okay, I have made substantial progress in Zenless. The TFT event. What, in this? I'm probably gonna love it. Oh my god. Oh, to get the hat. Okay. Wait, is there more accessories? Can I go get them? Are they at Deppin's pawn shop? Let me go check. Oh, so let's play Overwatch. Oh shit, I can buy all of this now.
I hope somebody posts this video in the LK99 subreddit and it says, "We're so back." So, I guess I could do it. I'm not gonna do it. Alright.
Goodbye, Angela. Well, that was another fun one from Angela. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, did she make a book video? Oh my god. I need to go watch her book channel. I need to go watch her book channel. Oh my god. If you like books. Alright. Alright. That was fun. Alright, so, you know what this calls for? One more Pyrois one. Hell yeah. Let's play some fucking Pyrois. Let's play some fucking Pyrois. Oh my god. Hold on. Overwatch equals Pyrois. Yes.
A clear path to victory.
What's this? Tough luck.
Almost there.
Together, we'll compose a miracle. Protect the enemy. You asked for it. Get away from me.
Unfortunately, I have to sit here for a second. There we go. And that should be good.
Let me give you a little treat. Like this.
Okay. Again, girl? Oh my god.
In the name of hope. Suppress the enemy. You asked for it. Wield the blade with me.
Total annihilation.
The pleasure's all yours. No room for mercy. Now's our chance.
This ends here.
I'll show you. Wanna run? On the moment. Scorching sun. Now's our chance. Tough luck. Get away from me! Now's our chance! I'm coming! Right back in ya! Tough luck! Everlasting flame!
Total annihilation.
Music is the rhythm of life. Flash! You asked for it. Wipe him out! This won't hurt much.
This ends here.
Jackpot! Let me give you a little treat. Like this. Wield the blade with me. Restrain! I'm coming!
Actually, that was damn it. That should be... Yeah, that should be good.
Together, we'll compose a miracle. Suppress the enemy. The pleasure's all yours. No room for mercy. Scorching sun.
Total annihilation.
No point running.
This ends here.
Bye bye, suckers. Everlasting flame.
Wow. Huge. That was my top score. Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh. Nice. Very nice. Very good. Ugh. Ugh. It started out as like 48. Incrementally, my build has been getting better though, so that's really good. Nicole on Game Ball? Okay, that's the thing. I don't even do that actually. Like, low key, because I'm not sure. Like, you only need 72, right? I already have crit damage on slot. I already have crit damage on slot 4 because it's like, so it's like, how much less crit rate can I actually run? Like, I can't do it, right? Like, I can't do it. I need to make a better slot 6 too. I've got to make a better slot 6. I really do. Like, can I do that? Can I even do that? Like, I'd have to replace my slot 4 and I'm not gonna do that. Like, ether damage. Can I do that? I might be able to replace this with this, and then replace this with that. Although 57 is what I'm looking for. It's eternal imprisonment, honestly. Yeah. Sucks. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a new spot 6. I shouldn't do this. This is a really bad play, and I should not be doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Today's special is the electric margarita with bluesy undertones.
I hate to do this because this doesn't make any sense. Why would I do this? 4? Oh god, what an awful choice. I'm not doing it. I can't.
Leaving so soon.
I can't do it. Stop LARPing? I know. Ew. Live a little? But what if I need it? Oh my god. When do I get another one? I get another one at... Oh, you get another one at... Okay. It's your birthday month. I guess.
A mellow tune evokes 100 aromas.
It's gonna be a set that I farm anyway. I'm gonna farm it anyway. It's gonna be so poo. Why am I gonna do this? This is so bad. What an awful choice. I already am more excited because there's that M4, by the way. People are like, it's just a shield. It doesn't do anything. It's just days. You're bad. Okay, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, all you care about is this character gets 250 crit damage because you don't know how to play the game. Okay, like you don't know how to play. You don't know what 10% days means in practice because you don't read and you're not practicing and you're not reading. You don't know what you're doing. All right, like you don't know what that means. All right, it's very important that Pyros gets 10% extra days because that means when you're staying on field, because you're motivated to stay on field because you have a parry, okay, you're getting that much more days for all that on field time, okay? That means you're able to either push 4 stuns or you're more reliably able to get the 3 and you can use more ultimates outside of stun, okay? That has incremental effects on everything Pyros does, okay? If you don't get it, that's fine, but I hate these people you don't know what you're talking about, okay? It's good, all right? It's good. And M4s aren't even that, or M4s aren't even like ginormous damage increases either, okay? It's just like, you don't even play Pyros. Like, these people don't even play Pyros. Like, they're LARPing. They're not even gonna play Pyros. What they're gonna do is they're gonna pull a Void Hunter and fucking only play the Void Hunter and not play Pyros because it's hard, okay? I know what these people do. They're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're not even gonna play it. It's free. You're not even gonna play it, all right? You're lying. You're a liar.
What flavor of music would you like to try today?
Liar, 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 lies, lies, and more lies. It's lying. It's lying. Am I really gonna do this? I already have... Fuck. Am I really gonna do this? This is such a bad choice. Oh my god.
This tune exudes
This is such a bad choice.
dry
Oh, it's not even a
martini.
4 fucking liner. This is just piss. Like, why did I do that? Oh my god.
Come back
Ugh.
again soon.
My flames will never die out.
Ugh. Like it's an upgrade, and I want to smile and act like it's a big deal, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of.
My flames will never die out.
Need something? My services are expensive.
I don't experience joy.
The cunning hairs are here.
Joy is a foreign concept to me. All right, sorry. Oh, this is going away, by the way. As soon as my hair fully dries in the back, in fact, I'm gonna go shove that fucking hairdryer up my ass as soon as I'm out of there, because I can't take this anymore.
Wield the blade with me.
A clear path to victory.
Oh, that was cool. Okay, I learned a new attack. Whoa, I'm learning things.
Get away from me.
Dude. Okay, that's exactly all the decibels that I needed. Hell yeah.
In the name of hope.
Did I run out of defense down here? I do not. Nice. Whoa! Oh.
Flash. Now's our chance. Hey, hey! Suppress the enemy.
This is bad, by the way.
Let me give you a little treat. Like
ends here.
That was really bad. I didn't have defense enough like the majority of those. Get Nicole's quick assist doesn't imply her debuff. Yeah, that should be good.
music is the rhythm of life. Flash. The pleasure's all yours. Wield the blade with me. Strike down. You asked for it. No room for mercy. Now's our chance.
This ends here.
Tough luck.
This ends here.
Bye-bye, suckers. For lasting
Oh, that's really good. I like that one. I got 2 EXs off.
Eternal imprisonment.
No, I've been talking to the Zenless lore watcher, and they like really fucking love Belle, and I think it's so cute. I'm like, yes, you have taste. Like, there's one that's really obsessed with Pyrois, and there's another one that's like really obsessed with Belle, and I'm like, you're both winning. It's so funny.
What's this? Now's our chance. Together, we'll compose a miracle. Suppress the enemy. The pleasure's all yours. Flash. Scorching sun. Strike down. Jackpot.
This ends here.
Tough luck. Gotta run. Wield the blade with me.
Eternal imprisonment.
Okay, that one was a lot lower, right? Yes, I get that, but I think part of the reason why it was so much lower, is because I went Kaboom. Because I went Nicole's engine. I think Kaboom is better. I think because combat attack is insane, right? Especially when you have Pyrois that has how much base attack? What am I dealing with here? When I have Pyrois here, who is dealing with
flames.
3,500 attack, right? 3,500 attack, I'm getting like 72 from Nicole, and then Asher's giving me like 60, fucking 31, and then engine 31, and then I'm getting however much from the base passive. And do you give yourself any crit damage? Anti-regenerate. I feel like you give yourself crit damage. Okay, yeah, so crit damage against stunned enemies, so that's 80. It gives me 71 crit damage. Yeah. I think you're getting so much base attack. Like
something?
At a
Services are
baseline. I
expensive.
think this is just better. I think I have to do this, which is really annoying. Impact, like an impact is really good, I guess, because I'm getting another stun out. Does it mean that I could go this maybe and get more EXs off? Yes, but if I have good uptime, I don't really need that, right? And so at the end of the day, it's just impact. I think that's the case. Like, fuck me! Ugh. I'm clearing those.
Catch the rhythm. Wield the blade with me. Fired up.
No, it doesn't make 10 ratio. Ooh. Worse. Nicole makes 10 ratio worse.
Right back at ya. Get away from me.
Which unfortunately, Fire was the best shot. I didn't get that. I need one more parry. Thanks. You were playing good for Astro.
Together, we'll compose a miracle. Suppress the enemy.
When you do a chain attack like that on Pyroas, you should pretty much always press the A button after you finish. Especially if you're gonna immediately swap, so that you can swap cancel the quick assist, or you can basically always go into Pyroas' basic 3 or basic 5 after he does something, after they do something. So when I swap to Nicole here, you can see that Pyroas is still doing that move from off field, and by doing this move from off field, it's gonna give me enough solar prominence to come in, and now I get off the whole basics, right? That's cool, right?
Total annihilation.
You asked for it. Wipe him out.
I like this. That's nice.
This ends here.
I thought I had Astra's M4 active there. I shouldn't have done that. Or if I was gonna do something like that, I should have chained into Astra, but it's okay.
What's this? Music is the rhythm of life.
Wait till you finish.
Flash.
Go for the basic.
You asked for it.
That was hot.
Wield the blade with me.
Total
Annihilation.
The pleasure's all yours. No room for mercy.
Like, should I? I think I should.
ends here.
Tough look. Bye-bye, suckers. Scorching sun. Restrain. Now's our chance.
The problem is I have to run of those ashes though. Thank God. Okay, basic 3 on Nicole so that I can get the defense down from off field.
Suppress the enemy. You asked for it. Tough luck. Everlasting flame.
Total annihilation.
The pleasure's all yours. Wipe them out. Now's our chance.
This ends here.
Wanna run? Wield the blade with me. Restrain. Tough luck. Sing in the name of hope. Flash. You asked for it. Scorching sun.
I might have fucked up here. I might run out of time. This is so bad. What should I get for not going impact?
give you a little treat! Like everlasting flames!
Yeah. The stun needs to start before 15 seconds. If it doesn't start before 15 seconds, it's fucked. You should just give up. You should give up, and you should just go play something else. All right. I'm gonna go and get a snack. I'll be right back. Be right back. And I'm gonna put my fucking hat on, okay? Because I can't stand this anymore. I can't do it anymore. BRB.